already going through this whole process. Let's not risk it.
Risk it on a Trisket.
Risk it for the Trisket. And the other dumb thing is you did remember to plug in your video card. You didn't bread it, right?
I did not bread it.
Okay,
Although
because
we did test the onboard display just in case. We tried both, and we actually tried several different ports on the GPU.
yes,
And I know
the
the GPU
onboard display doesn't exist because they don't have a part that works for that yet.
Oh. Well, I
So
know
AMD's different. If they're backwards, they will, like with the Intel ones, almost all of them have video. With AMD, they only make like 1 or 2 CPUs a generation that have video.
Interesting. Well, yeah, and I know the GPU still works because it survived the trip from Bebop into Star Blaster back into Bebop, and
Beep,
you
boop.
know, an hour and a half of driving.
Went into space?
Yeah,
Twice.
yeah. God, there was a lot of like, even under nominal conditions, building a computer has a lot of alarming crunching and flexing. So it was like, man, like moving this giant card around is the worst.
You could
See, this is
be-
why I make Randy do it, because I don't
Well-
want to.
I was gonna say you could be smart like me and try to put together a PC, and then when you are trying to get it to boot, you're seeing all the lights come on and everything, but then nothing on the monitor is coming on, and you just go, "Well, I've been trying this for days, and I don't know what the matter is, so I'm gonna take it to Micro Center and just pay them to put it together."
Yeah.
And then
I didn't think of that.
they call and they say it's good to go, and I'm like, "Could you tell me what you did? Because I couldn't get it to work." They're like, "I don't know. I do this like 17 times a day. I didn't really pay attention. I just did it, and it works."
Jeez.
What do they
I take
charge
it-
for that?
I think it's probably like 200 or something like that.
Oh.
But
That's not
I-
the worst.
No,
I
it's not the
no,
worst.
it's not.
You're paying
But
for
then
good
I-
peace of mind.
Yeah, but then I take it home, I plug it in,
Mhm.
turn it on, lights turn on, nothing comes on screen. I'm like,
That's a
What?
Randy problem.
you know what it was?
Yeah.
The monitor has multiple inputs,
Oh
and I
my
had it on the
God.
wrong
Oh my
input.
god.
So I probably put that together just fine. And I
That's the $200 stupid tax.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yep,
exactly. But now I know from now on to not make that mistake again.
Yeah. By the way, pulling up Brett got a nice new GPU and then proceeded to plug his monitor into the motherboard for like 4 months.
Oh my god. I mean, fair. If you don't know, you're like, hey, that's the slot. I'll just plug it in there.
Right, that's a hole. It fits. I see a picture. And the only reason we figured it out was because in Sega's infinite wisdom, Sonic and All-Star Racing Transformed,
Mhm.
the speed of your car is pegged to your frame rate. So if you are going below 60 frames a second, your car will actually slow down relative to everyone else.
Oh.
That is
That's how we
insane.
figured that out?
Because Brett was like, we all just drove straight, and Brett was like way behind us.
Yeah.
Reminds me of that, like, Dark Souls 2 had that issue where, like,
It's, like,
weapon
tied to
degradation
the-
was
yeah,
based
yeah.
off
Right.
frame rate. So if your computer was doing, if you had a better computer, your weapons degraded faster.
Mhm.
I
Every time you hit
remember
the wall.
I remember
Yeah.
hearing about people patching in like 60 frames a second and then like physics broke, like get off a ladder and like fall through the floor, like
Yep.
through the ground.
Yep.
Like, okay.
It's the most, whatever. There's a boss fight in Kingdom Hearts Rechain of Memories where the boss, like, regenerates health over time. When they put out the PS4 version, which was the first time that game got bumped up to 60, his HP regeneration was tied to frame rate, so now you couldn't do enough damage to kill him because his HP regenerated so much faster. So they had to, like, put out a patch like a week later, like, oops, sorry, we effed that one up.
Shows you how much they tested that one.
I heard a real life version of this on the radio today where this guy kept showing up, like kept missing the bus and like just like being late to stuff and didn't know why. And eventually he got a parking ticket for like being out in the wrong time. And he's like, no, this can't be right. I checked my watch. And they're like, well, your watch is like, I checked my clock. Your clock's wrong. Like I checked, all my clocks. And then like all the clocks are wrong. He's like, this can't be right. And eventually he checks and the clocks were wrong. They were off by 17 minutes. Like, what the fuck? Okay, well, whatever. So he fixes all of his clocks. And like a few days later, he misses the bus again. It's like, what the shit? And eventually he somehow figures out that he's on a different electrical grid where the AC current was running at the wrong frequency.
Oh my god.
And all these old clocks
Whoa.
were all plugged into the wall, and that's how they did their clock cycle. And it's like, that is a fucking wild problem to have.
I had no idea that's how that worked. That's
I'm
wow.
sure. I don't think it does. Keep in mind, most clocks in your house now probably like have their own separate battery. Even like a wall clock would have a separate battery. so it'd have a little quartz crystal. But I guess if
So-
you plug into the wall, why not?
Did anybody else have the situation where, like, in their high schools, whatever, that you have the clock on the wall where,
Tells
I mean,
time.
ours.
Yep.
Yeah, well, yeah, it does do that, which is a really
What
great
you do.
feature. But like sometimes, like I don't know, like it would just get stuck, and then like I don't know, it would like I can't remember what did it do.
It just seemed like it got stuck.
It just no, I mean it did that too. I
Randy,
don't know
where's
what
the story going?
It just seemed like there was a weird thing with like a clock would fuck up and then it would like fix itself based on like checking to see what other clocks like on the network of clocks. I don't know. I'm gonna stop because it seems like
This
I
is a
can't.
boring story.
It is a super boring story, and
There's
I'm
no
making
hookers or
sense.
anything.
Taking
Yeah.
time.
Okay, so there was a hooker in my class, and
Hey,
Fucking with the
hey.
clocks.
it was me.
Vic, are you in the game yet?
I'm getting there.
All right. Joe says,
done.
I'm just watching. I'm in an Uber coming back. When I get home, I'm going to pass out.
Which
Aw.
Joe?
Tell the Uber
This is
driver to
Tanuki
watch.
Joe.
Uber Joe?
Tanuki Uber Joe.
Tanuber Joe.
Oh wait, no. Who was Firefox something or other?
I think that was Randy.
That wasn't
That
Joe.
was Firefox Randy. And Chrome
Firefox
Randy.
Randy. That's
No, that
right.
was Firefox Doug.
Was it Doug?
Yes, it was
It was
Doug.
Doug.
Doug. You're
The
right. You're right.
multiple
You're right.
ones.
Right.
Yeah, like 3 Dougs. Oops, all Dougs.
Oh, now Alyssa just joined. All right, I'll wait for Alyssa.
Just did a half-hour Beat Saber to get at least a little bit of movement in for today, and man, that game, you work up a sweat.
Mhm.
I got a new like impermeable facial interface for the index, so like it's sweat and not like get it all gross. Got a little
Mhm.
like fan that attaches to the headset, like a little radiator
Oh, wow.
thing. Which is cool.
Whoa. I started
All
up Supernatural on my quest today again because I tried that like a year or so ago for working out, and then I didn't stick to it. But I'm trying again, and we'll see
you
how
go.
that goes.
What is
I
it?
just finally
It's,
finished Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
It's a workout specifically thing where it's weird. They have like new music all the time, and kind of like how they can afford to do it is they only have it licensed for like so many days. Like it's only like it's,
Oh,
just like a
weird.
week or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then they have like actual recorded, workout coaches that are like, all right, you're gonna go in, do this. Okay, go in for a lunch here. Like,
It's like a mix between like Beat Saber and Zumba.
They
yeah,
call that
'cause-
supernatural?
yes. I
What
don't
a
know.
weird name for that.
Yeah.
Well,
it's-
also like you're doing it, but you're on the top of Mount Everest, or you're in space.
right.
There's not much oxygen in either of those places.
It's true.
Makes it work out harder.
That's why
Yeah.
it's virtual, JP.
Mm-hmm.
But they added boxing as a mode as well, so that was kind of neat to try that because when I ducked
That's
out of
one
it
I'm
last time.
I'm tempted
got-
to get that fitness boxing game on the Switch, just
I
to break up all the Ring Fit.
Yeah, that game looks hella good.
I got a VR game, a boxing game in VR, and was just like, it took me approximately a minute and a half to be like, God damn, that's why these guys work out so much. Like, this is effort.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boxing is fun and very hard.
I was really surprised. Yeah, Beat Saber's a blast. The official tracks all kind of suck, but once you get into like the like modding stuff, it's like, all right, this is where the real stuff is.
I need to. Well, it's weird. I started doing the modding stuff, but I can't think of enough good songs that I want to play it to. So I'm like, I think I'm just gonna uninstall this and go back to the official one.
I just I have a few that I know, and then every once in a while I just go through what's popular and see what works. and what
Oh,
is-
that's an interesting-
what's
There's got to
good
be
and what
like
isn't.
there's got to be like BTS.
Oh yeah, don't worry. I found was it Butter that they don't have on like the official one, but I'm like, I gotta have Butter.
Is that a song?
Yeah, that's a BTS song.
Randy,
You were
I
I
trying
just
to-
got
really
it.
want butter.
You got to do Mary's programs. We got BTS. We got a Kingdom Hearts
That is
song in
true.
pump.
Ooh,
Yeah,
which
I have,
Kingdom Hearts?
Face My
Face My
Fears.
Fears.
Face Your Fears.
That's awesome.
Face Mary's fears.
Face Mary's Fears.
Just spiders and loneliness.
Don't leave me alone with the spider.
You're welcome.
I've just been doing like Ring Fit like 3 times a week, which is the only game I've found that can trick me into exercising.
Mike was
I just
doing
hate
that,
that
and
ring.
you stopped. I don't know why you stopped, Mike.
Because I got my hernia surgery.
I thought.
Oh.
I thought you were doing
I'll do
Ring
it.
Fit like as recovery from the hernia surgery?
I maybe started doing that again, but then I just went back to doing real workouts.
But you were working up a real sweat.
Yeah,
It
I
didn't
mean-
seem like any joke.
Doing tons of squats in that game, so
Yeah.
Oh
I know
yeah.
how much you love squats.
yeah, I fucking love squats. Let's do
Video
squats.
games are definitely the best way to trick me into exercising because,
Yeah.
like, it's like, hey, do squats. It's like, fucking why? And then I do Beat
Yeah.
Saber. It's like, duck under this wall. I go, ah!
Exactly. I mean, I've probably put like since we got it like 55, 60 hours into Ring Fit.
Yeah.
It's
Took a lot of
I need
time.
to get some other stuff because I just like I then get bored with it after a while and then just don't exercise for like 6 months. So I really have to find a compromise.
I'm trying to set up like a boredom circuit because I will get bored of each of these things. So I'm like, I want to get DDR working downstairs.
Yes.
So when I get sick of Beat Saber, that's already ready to go. And then, like, maybe I'll give Ring Fit another shot.
Trying to remember which DDR was it that I played on the PS2 all the time.
I had one on the Wii.
Was it an American game or a Japanese game?
It was American.
Well, they came
DDR
in
Max
twos.
Revolution 2.
Aw,
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, they're the Maxes. They were the Supernovas.
Man, I didn't even think about just playing an actual copy.
I think it might have been.
for PlayStation.
yes, JP,
Yeah.
an actual game. Not
I kind of
just
forgot it
Stepmania.
really came out on consoles. To be like, I'm not even kidding because I never ever had one.
I'm sure the closest I ever got to working out in college was playing a shit ton of DDR in my dorm room.
Like, did it come out on PlayStation 1? Because if not,
Yeah.
It absolutely did. That's why I
Yes,
bought a
it did.
PS1.
there you go. I don't know. I guess I was just a cheap poor high schooler.
Man, I was so skinny until I got tired of that game.
It all went downhill after I stopped playing
Yeah.
DDR.
You were really
Gotta
good at
start-
that game, weren't you, Vic?
I was
Gotta-
really good at DDR,
Yeah.
and as good as I was, my brother was infinitely better.
Really?
We got to build up
Yeah.
that competitive spirit again.
Yeah.
Oh, my
yeah.
knees hurt too much. I
I
can't.
might be surprised though. I mean, Mike, you haven't played DDR in so long that maybe the strength you've gained
Oh.
from the gym would make DDR like
Yeah.
not so impactful
My
for your
mind can
knees.
keep up, but my
Yeah, the
Rest
muscle
of me.
memory is still there, but the body it is severely wounded.
You got to
Just
like
willing,
build
but
back
the
up to
flesh
it
is
and build up the
spongy and
endurance.
Yes, exactly.
Listen, if I'm gonna be doing it with my fat self, you guys aren't that much older than me.
I have
I
no
told
idea
my-
how old anybody is in here, so
I'm 80. I told my wife not to let me forget to bring my like dope ass DDR pad from Houston next time I go see my mom.
I got those red octane ones.
Yeah, that's the one I have.
They're all
The one
like
with the foam
electrically
pads.
taped back together.
Yeah.
But
I have
Because
3 of those.
they haven't
around the
made them
house.
in over a decade, they're still like the goddamn best.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
it's like whenever we have a random thought about like a Wii or a Wii U accessory, we're like, oh, good thing there were like 100 million Wiis because Amazon still has accessories that are like in box.
There was a DDR dance pad. I mean, I think it was just the one that came with like DDR Max 2, but like
Jesus.
I was playing it in my basement, and we had a dog growing up, and I was playing it, and I stepped off the pad,
See where this is
and
going.
he had like a squeaky toy that sounds like him yelping in pain. So I heard him like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry! I stepped on your leg!" And when I jumped and I landed heel first right into like the electronics part at the connector for
Oh, yeah.
the dance pad,
Oh, no.
cracked it and shattered it
Oh.
and broke the whole thing. Like, well, at least I didn't hurt the dog.
Yes.
I guess.
Dogs
Make
can
it
be
one-
replaced. DDR
Joke's
pads are
on
hard to
you,
come
or-
by.
Joke's on him. He's dead now. But my
Harsh.
oh well. To be
Shouldn't
fair,
have.
Not sure that's
He
really a
was an
joke,
asshole.
but
Yeah. I doubt he got the last laugh.
hey, is that
Well, he
Brady in
did, but-
chat? Brady, what's up?
Wasn't that dog insane?
he was kind of crazy. Like every
Like
night.
more insane than a regular dog?
Every night. Here's what it is. You go in your kennel, and that's where you
All right,
sleep.
let's see what is the first Brady Blu-ray I can grab off the shelf.
You have 5 seconds. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
You guys do this. You did KOR, right? Am I right?
Oh, I love KOR.
Yeah, that was you guys, right? Yeah. I got it.
We've had that.
We're good. We're good.
We've had that sitting on the shelf since it came out because I bought it day one. It's like, I'll watch this. And then I didn't.
Also easily accessible. Violence Jack. Was that you guys? We had a recent large Right Stuff order.
That's where it's at.
That was kind of
Like-
like the Brady collection.
I mean, every
don't
3
want
months
right
we're
stuff
just
ordered.
like, what's everything? Every time they have like an anniversary sale or like a hey, discotheque stuff is on sale, it's like cool. They're gonna get a couple $100 from us.
Literally buy everything I can.
Yeah.
I put in a Right Stuff order months ago for like a bunch of those back-ordered Ranma books and forgot all about it. I
Yeah.
wonder if they're actually working on that.
Well, I don't know. Book printing is heavily backlogged right now.
Yeah, it is fucked right now. Like if you don't get stuff done domestically, and that's rare, then it's real backlogged.
We said hi to Brady. Did we say hi to Alyssa and Tyson? Hello.
Hello.
Tyson, you got to put some stuff up on your wall. It's crazy echo.
Yeah, what was up with that? You in a new place? I can't look. I'm racing.
Not any newer since the
You,
last
you need
time.
you need a rug to tie that room together, I think.
There is a rug.
But a bigger one.
I'm glad we figured that part out.
Oh no.
Oh, damn, Nathan.
I just want to beat the NPCs. I don't actually care about beating the other humans. There's enough NPCs that I'll at least get something out of this.
You giving up your defense up there?
Yeah, I got more. Trying to get you on the. That's.
Oh, right. There we go.
Well, all right.
Enjoy
How'd
that,
work out,
assholes.
Mike?
No, that was on me. That wasn't on you. Oh, how's that
come
working out,
on.
JP?
Damn it. Get out of my way.
No.
I love you. Give it to me.
You have to earn it first.
Brady says the stream quality is great. Well, I am broadcasting at 720p, so that helps because the bitrate required for racing is something. And then we ban people who don't use USB. Well, not better than USB microphones.
We let Albert-
God bless.
I guess we let Albert. No, I banned him tonight. No, he's at a football game, I think, tonight.
Jesus, I'm just
Because he had to
losing.
make different plans because he's banned.
I got hit by so many things. I just remained still for like 10 seconds.
You're gonna want to press the gas pedal.
Oh. All right, asshole.
Button goes forward. Oh, yeah. Oh, there goes Ken. There goes Ken.
Oh, for God's sakes! Oh, for God's sake! Oh, for oh my God!
I don't know what happened there.
Going good.
Rough.
Vic
A
was
lot
just
of
ruining
bad
his
shit.
day.
No. All right, I'll take it.
Got to get the heart rate up somehow. This game does it.
Ken,
Yeah.
the
Full rage.
the 4-person crop on the Goku thing is just perfect. Lines up excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, shouts out to Scott
I saw.
Kaiser
Yeah.
I saw him post it, and I was like, that's it. I'm stealing that. Soon I'll have a 3070, and I can do all sorts of crazy camera stuff, so watch out. That's coming.
Did you order it?
No,
It's a good question, Randy. I'm glad you asked.
Oh, shut up, Tyson. You shut the hell up, all right?
That's what I have. What can I do? What interesting things can I do that I don't do?
What, it's a
You have
broadcast,
NVIDIA
right?
broadcast
Yeah.
installed?
So you can, like, remove the background. And so I'll have multi-layered overlays now.
Yeah.
The main
He'll
thing we
be
should
able to
do-
green screen himself in addition to the shit that he could already do.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I should just turn more lights. I see that's exactly what Mary went to go do, is turn more lights on up here so it's not super grainy.
Yep.
But I don't
By the
want
way-
to.
The best part of that computer build I did last night was at one point we're going to move the 3070 from the old computer to the new computer and then take an old 970 and put it into the old computer so it'd still be functional. And I opened up the box that was labeled 970 and discovered a 560, which makes me wonder
Jesus
where my
Christ.
970 went.
That's like when you open up the Call of Duty and it's a Medal of Honor. So then you open up the Medal of Honor case and it's Mario. You open up the Mario case, it's Bayonetta.
Somewhere
really
in
brings
this
me
house,
back.
there is a 970, and I
You
don't
just follow the
know
chain
where.
and
Yeah, JP, that computer looks hot. Can I have it instead by chance?
Nah, I think I'm good.
Why the Ryzen 9 instead of the new line of Intel chips that came out recently?
Vic scared me by saying that it run better on Windows 11, and I don't want Windows 11.
Oh,
Plus,
the
also the
Intel
fact that-
12th and 13th gens, the Windows 10 doesn't have the core scheduler,
Right.
so
Oh,
it'll
here it comes.
it runs slower on Windows 10.
apparently
Well-
in real benchmarks, it's mostly not a thing, but in Photoshop was a really big thing.
Yeah,
so it's like,
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
anything that uses the first core.
I don't
Right.
wanna
The
deal
first
with
core
it.
is an efficiency core. And
Real
Windows
answer
10
is that
doesn't
you
know how
should
to
be
get
on
around.
Windows 11 anyways.
You won't have a choice
Yeah,
eventually.
if he hates himself.
No, Windows 11 is good.
No,
Yeah.
I'm good
I'm not
without
ready.
ever being on Windows 11 ever. Thank you.
I've got everything on 11, baby.
Windows 10 is my last Windows system. It's where I get off the line,
This
and I'm
is it.
done.
Yeah, right. That's what they all say.
I mean, I have a Chromebook that I'm connected to this call via, so
Yeah, I mean, I think it's actually plausible now because Steam has figured out how to make gaming work on Linux. So I just gotta wait a little bit longer until they.
No,
figure it
they
out.
haven't.
Listen, yes, they have.
Yes,
because
they have.
Man.
They
It is
absolutely-
marginally more acceptable now. I will give you that.
I mean,
it's not even like you could just like load up Arch Linux and then fucking install Steam and stuff will just work.
Yep. I have Ubuntu downstairs. It just plays games. It's
here's
weird.
the thing, though. Do
He
they
says
have...
load up Arch Linux like that's an easy thing to
Yeah,
do.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
hit the button until it goes.
It's like just
Ugh.
pick the hardest, most finicky version of Linux to install.
I think
Aren't
I said
there-
Arch. I said Arch because someone was talking about their like how they're surprised how easy it was these days, and he said Arch. So it's the first thing that came to mind.
Now, but doesn't they...
Oh my god, please.
Yeah, I got a lot of reds coming.
I don't
Oh,
think it
no.
has, like, good driver support for ray tracing.
No!
Yeah. Oh no. Oh.
son of a
Car
bitch, you made me drop.
finish.
You made me drop a blue shell.
I dropped a star.
There's a lot of
no,
things I
listen.
can put up with you people, but there's no good Linux user.
What do you mean, you people?
I think he means nerds.
It used to be Windows for games, Mac for day-to-day, Linux for actual work, and now it's like, oh, Linux for games too? Excellent.
I learned how to format a USB drive on Linux today. That was fun.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's,
What's
you
there to
know,
learn?
I mean, it's the console commands to
Oh,
make
all
it
right.
happen.
yeah, but you could probably. I guarantee there was also like a GUI application.
Of course
Yeah,
there
yeah, yeah.
was, but this was like 2 lines that I just had to type in and it was
Well,
done.
then stop bitching about it.
I was bragging!
Oh, okay. Everyone's got me on the defensive.
I think JP's
okay,
natural state is to be on
I
the
mean,
defensive.
I don't know if
Truly,
it's, I don't know if it's the Chromebook itself or the Chrome OS, but I've been working on editing a book, and now it's just too powerful. The Chromebook, Google Docs just crashes now.
Wow.
Oh yeah, my
300 some
Chromebook
page.
crashes if you just look at it.
That's what Chromebooks do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at least I know it's not just me then.
I'm still hung up on JP's response. If you just talk at him like you're arguing with him, you can say things that are true and he agrees with, and he'll still come back at you.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll
God,
find
I
something.
really enjoy his argumentative nature.
I like to think
'Cause
that's
it's
me and
your
Bryce
nature.
constantly riling
Yeah,
him up.
I like to think I wouldn't still be coming to these Mario Kart nights if it weren't for JP.
Oh my
Bryce
god!
Brett,
And I gotta say it. Like I'm so excited to change the clocks tonight.
Yeah, we're gaining
I'm
an
so
hour of
excited.
sleep.
It's definitely
so
efficient and worth
daylight
doing.
savings. It's just great. I love it.
Oh my god, I'm leaving all of that on the table.
Yeah, let's
It's like I was
not.
just gonna say how like over the years Brett and Bryce have like really honed their art of like getting me riled up, but like you guys are getting there.
How do you set an icon in this?
Gravatar.
Okay.
Is Bryce not joining tonight?
Nah,
He
he
said it was
did-
maybe.
Yeah, he
What-
was like, I don't feel like being on the stream anyway. Like, okay.
You
Don't want
know, it's a lot of pressure.
just Tanuki Joe to see.
Yeah.
It was either this or watch a movie, so I was like, I don't really feel like watching a movie right now, so I guess I'll play Mario Kart for 2 hours.
I'm gonna be honest, there was a non-zero chance that I was gonna cancel because I was on a roll doing math, and I was like, that is too pathetic. Saturday night activity, and also I hit a wall. I was like, okay, perfect. I can
That's
go on my
completely
night.
fair.
Yeah, JP ran out of numbers.
I'm trying to figure out rotation
invented some.
matrices, and I think this book I'm learning how to does them backwards, and I don't understand how they're doing that. I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. I'm gonna solve it.
You're gonna
Solve
solve
mazes.
all of the math.
I'm gonna figure out why these fuckers have their rotation matrices backwards. Like,
Mike,
how,
yeah.
how'd they
Like
get to that
animals.
point?
Those stupid fucking idiots.
I think they're using like a different convention, but I want to understand what. Like,
I wish I could go back to school and actually give a shit about math. I wonder if I'd actually.
I know,
like
right?
it.
well, you can always start
Wow,
on
that's
Academy.
said no
can.
one ever.
Dude, like math is actually super fun. It's that they teach it like, you know, if they taught art the
Yeah.
same way, it would be everyone would hate I think you teach any subject that way. Just like arbitrarily learn the pieces out of order for no reason.
Yeah, with
It'd be like
no
if they had
context.
if they taught you anime by like having you memorize the names of the cast of Tenchi, and then later went back and like you said,
Hey.
and then like halfway through your through college, you got to actually watch an episode and went. Holy
I'd
shit,
actually be
this
kind of
is
down for that.
It's
That sounds
so
backwards.
true.
You are
it's
acting.
so true.
You're acting like I didn't spend my youth memorizing power levels.
Or
Yeah,
my
but you
youth like
watch the show
memorizing all
Congress.
X-Men
Dragon Ball,
characters.
right?
It's so true. Oh god.
That's the thing,
That's
is
why.
that, like, everything they teach you in like middle school, high school, all that, it's like you're learning all these little itty bitty pieces completely out of context for no apparent reason.
Yeah.
And then like 2 years into a math degree, you bring it all together and go, oh my god, is this what we've been doing? This is amazing. Like, oh shit, this is. Why didn't we tell anyone?
You've been holding out on us, Math.
No, I needed to win that one.
You held on long enough. Now we will reveal the secrets of the cool.
What happened
math.
with you and me, Brett? What happened there? Oh, no,
I
you
think I
got-
snuck
yeah.
over.
Oh,
Yeah.
I feel like the coolness of math revealed itself like in just everyday practical stuff,
Yeah.
like becoming an independent adult and realizing, wait a minute, this is just algebra or some other
Yeah.
kind of functional stuff.
The only thing they teach you about math is you have to do it or we hate you. Not
Yeah.
in any way how to make it interesting.
Instead of like,
There's-
hey, let's model a system, like, like a great example was like, have some kids try to figure out, like, hey, if we put a bunch of water in a bucket and punch a hole in it, how long will it take for the water to come out? And it's like, well, the kids will naturally arrive at questions like, well, how big is the bucket? How big is the hole? Like, and what shape is all this stuff? And like, then you start to figure out, oh, these are how you define this problem, and you can put together this system, and you're like, hey, fucker, that's math.
See, that's how I learned chemistry, and that's why I liked chemistry. but I didn't like
interesting.
trig, because trig was just memorizing.
Yeah.
It's nowhere near the levels of like that, of like figuring out how fast water comes out of a bucket, but there are simple ones that I wish I could teach people for math wise. Like, I'm at work, I'll make a design for a client that's like a sign or whatever, and I'll send it to the salesperson, and they're our one point of contact with the client, and they're like, okay, well, they want it bigger. So like, I've already told them what the width and the height are, and they're like, what if you change the width like to this, then what's the height? I'm like, do the math.
Do the
It's
math.
just
It's a
division.
ratio.
Yeah.
That's math, motherfucker.
Yeah, so I'm like, I'm just gonna do the math. You do the math. It's not difficult.
So, yeah,
Like
I always,
the only practical class I can think of in my high school that taught any form of practical math was, I mean, they didn't call it homemaking, but that's what it was. And it was, how to balance a house budget.
Yeah.
That's so valuable.
Yeah, it is. But like the school discouraged people from taking it because it was for the dumb kids who weren't going to college.
But it's super useful for life.
Yeah, I think they honestly thought that if you were like, you're taking trig now, you'll have servants later.
I have a guy for that.
The
Yeah.
dumb kids who will go on to live in dumb houses.
Yeah. I mean, this was the same high school that like they put all the dumb kids who weren't going to college into a job program that meant they graduated to do an $80K a year job. So
Right.
yeah, whenever I hear people saying like they really hated math in school, I just imagine if it was art being like, like, oh yeah, I hated it. All we did was, do different lines of different thicknesses with paintbrushes all day, and I did various lengths of paint.
It's
like,
so frustrating.
yeah, it's really really awful. But at the same time, it's tough to figure out the solution because like you kind of have to have these building block
Yeah,
tools
that's true.
to put it together. So like at a certain point, you do just kind of have to learn trig because you know what? If you're going to do other stuff later, you got to learn trig. And I've kind of eventually got to the point where it's like how I learned computers, where it's like, well, at some point I will need trig, and that will be the day I learn trig, and I'll be motivated and have something to apply it to, so I'll care more. Whereas like
a lot of
learning
that
it in a
dichotomy
vacuum-
is why like new math is unfairly maligned, because it's like trying to deal with that exact thing. Is how do we establish these fundamental building blocks of knowledge without it being just like rote memorization?
Yeah, teaching the concepts behind it.
yeah,
rather
but then
than
you have
just-
those people who are like, well, I hated math and was taught it badly, so you should be too.
Right. Everyone must suffer.
Yep.
New math haters is an instant red flag for me.
Anyway, that's what I was doing my Saturday night.
And now you came on here to argue about math.
It's a long way to get
You
there, but
presented the concept like it was uninteresting, but we just discussed and argued about it for like 8 minutes straight.
So much so that I need to ask, are there any like fun math apps out there for
Yeah.
like adults?
Khan Academy is the best.
Oh,
You just
Khan-
start-
okay.
Yeah.
You can start at any level with all different subjects,
Oh.
and like he just takes you through it step by step,
son
and
of
it's
a
like
bitch.
super approachable. And they have all these automatically generated quizzes if you want to like test your skills at it. And even if you don't, it's just great to hear like and he gets into like practical stuff. Like here's like the math behind like financial stuff. If you want to learn how the fuck do I calculate a mortgage? Like we're gonna learn about exponentials, and here you go.
And it's free?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I have been trying to like get back into learning language, and all it took was one app that's marginally fun.
Yeah.
And then I've been doing Japanese for a year and a half.
Which one are you using
WaniKani
for
is
that?
really good for Japanese because
Duolingo.
Oh, that's right.
I stopped my hot streak and I haven't been back since. I feel a little bad. Well,
I'm like-
it got a little bit too obnoxious with the ads because I was just doing the
Oh,
free
I pay
version.
for it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we have a family plan.
The nice thing about WaniKani for Japanese is they have a really strong API, so there's a whole bunch of other like apps and programs that all hook into it. That all of a sudden those apps know what kanji you know because
Oh,
you're
nice.
asking WaniKani.
Whoa.
So this like for instance like they'll have like another I forget which one it is, but there's one you give them your WaniKani API key and it's like okay well now as you're reading these short stories we're not going to give you furigana on these kanji that you know because you know those
Yeah.
stuff like that.
But what if you
But there's
don't
also
know
a
the
website
right
called Kaniwani
reading?
that is backwards. They tell you something in English and you have to put it in Japanese.
I know Yama. I know Kami.
Tori.
I know Naka.
I mean,
All the base
the-
Duolingo ones is what I'm hearing.
Oh, I've done too much Duolingo now, so now the questions are like, that was an entirely preventable disaster, and like, preventable and disaster are new, and I'm like, oh god.
My cat is staring intently at
And
me.
the kanji for disaster looks like something exploding, which is very funny to me.
Ooh, I like that.
Bakuhatsu.
Yeah.
Bakuhatsu.
Talking about learning new languages is triggering a fight or flight in me because I spent the entire last week finally checking out and trying to learn C++.
Oh no! You should just
I know.
learn Rust unless you have to learn C++.
Yeah, speaking about doing it backwards,
Like C++,
Right.
unless you have an urgent need to learn C++, that is not a language you should be learning these days.
To be clear, C++ is not my entry into programming. I started with like VB6 and then went on into .NET and C# and Python and all that jazz.
I've heard of a few
But-
of these.
I know them by name.
I know some of these words.
Rust is the new hot.
I have approximate knowledge of many things.
I say this
Unfortunately,
as
a
someone who's
lot
literally written,
of,
like 10
uh,
lines of C++ ever.
A lot of very useful video game engines run on C++.
Like
Just,
Unreal, I
actually,
assume.
most of the video game industry runs on C++,
Are you
unfortunately.
finally programming the AJ dating sim?
I've been waiting for years.
You son of a bitch, I'm in.
Why don't you
Wait,
something
no
like
more.
Unity, which I think, what is it, use C#?
Unity is C#, and that's what I currently futz around with game shit in because C# is like my primary language.
Perfect.
But only knowing C# and being stuck with Unity, which is kind of like the red
Walmart of game engines?
Yeah.
I know someone who worked at Unity who would take offense.
Unity
to that.
is also unfairly maligned.
Yeah,
It's a perfectly cromulent engine.
Yeah, Unity seems pretty slick.
I like that on the writer of that episode's Wikipedia page, they're like, he is credited with inventing the word cromulent.
I think only 3 people on this call will understand this name, but the only reason I passed my intro to programming class was Tim Park wrote like 3 lines of code to answer my question for me, and I just handed it in as is.
Oh, what the hell? What happened there?
What was going on there?
Well, I went from 3rd to 10th.
Yeah, I saw you trundling across the slow part of the track. For some
Trundling.
reason.
That's a good one.
Trundling across.
Ooh, so much
Define
vocabulary tonight.
Trundle.
Cromulent, can't words.
Cat is still
Trundling.
staring at the PC, which really has me concerned.
An
Is this
action
making
weird
moving
noise I don't know
slowly or
about?
heavily. No, yeah, that's right.
What?
What? Huh? Who?
What?
I think you just read the definition of trundling.
I didn't. I was certain that he was misusing a word because I'd never heard it used that way, but I was wrong.
Gravatar is what that one was called?
Yeah, I think if you give Jitsi an email address and then it's use
Oh,
the same,
yeah,
same
yeah.
email as whatever your gravatar is.
Be careful
Alright.
though, because you'll set a gravatar, and then 10 years
10
later,
years later, yep.
it'll be applied to like some email or some other account that you do not want to have Jocko the Galactic Patrolman as.
Yeah.
And you don't remember your gravatar username or password, so you're just, you know what, your
Who the fuck
username
picked this?
is forever.
Mike picked this course.
Oh.
Self-update. Love it.
But we already did it.
No, we didn't.
Well, he forgot.
did.
Yeah, we did.
We did.
I wasn't
We
there.
did.
You were there.
Nuh-uh.
Not mentally.
We're talking
mentally.
about
Aren't
someone's
you the
dog
host,
died.
Mike?
Oh, that's right. We were.
Oh, yeah.
His dog died.
Yeah, remember we were here. Randy's dog died. It was good time for all.
It was like
we
11
Broke
years
his DDR pad.
we introduced Albert to Buddy Guy.
Right.
Oh my god.
Oh, how'd
face
that
to
go?
face.
No, just through
Through
the
the
window.
windows. We
The
had
only way
we
to
actually,
And through the
So
wall.
it's somehow worse.
but it wasn't just Albert. It was also Albert and his fiance, and we were like, "You need to see this. Like, you know, we're not bullshitting."
You need to see this.
Are we sure that you're not sharing it just to be like, we're spreading the responsibility of stalking? So that way it's not just the two of us, it's now a bunch of people.
It can't be one stalker. It could just be a roadside attraction at this point.
This way you
An
can be like, we have
he's adding us
probable-
accessories for the crime.
That's really all there is to the story. Isn't
No,
it?
no. I mean, they got to see him in really fine form today. He did all the hits, like standing in the garage, smoking while being on the cell phone, ignoring his son while his son ran around him. Got bored with the son, so put the son in the car with him while he still talked on his cell phone. Opened up the sunroof on his car so the son could crawl out the moonroof and dance on the roof of the car.
What?
That's great. It's amazing.
And you were just gonna just gloss over all this?
Yeah, Mike was like, "Oh, that's all the rules."
He's like, oh yeah, it's just normal. It's just
I mean,
fucking Wednesday.
That's Saturday with Buddy Guy.
I had a thought about Buddy Guy today because Jeff Gerstmann was saying how there's apparently like a category of TikTok videos that is just like dads going in their garage to rant about things.
Oh yeah.
So like,
man.
I guess he wants to make
Gonna
fun
be
of
me
me.
in a few years.
He wants to make fun of me. He's like, I gotta go get in my garage, and he like posted one, like went into his garage to like post a video.
Nobody tell Alan.
I will say that Buddy Guy picture was very illuminating to me. Really, getting a view of how
Like, you
close this
understand a
guy
little bit
is to
more.
your regular view is.
Yeah. You can't not look at him.
That's exactly, and I think that's the biggest driver. Is like there's no avoiding it. And what was funny was that Molly came to the same conclusion that I think we've kind of come to, which is maybe Buddy Guy is trying to avoid his wife, who's inside. Maybe
Are you
that's why
kidding
he's
me?
outside.
I
in
think
the
that
garage
was
all
like the
time.
first theory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all,
Everybody's like, oh,
He
he's trying
sits
to
in
dodge
his
his
car
wife.
for an hour outside of his house. Does not want to be in his house.
But now that we're coming up on like the
Well-
colder season, I mean, it's gonna be just so creepy.
He's back in the car with the lights on. Yeah.
Like he'll run his car for like
10 o'clock at night.
hours.
He's out there,
I'm like,
lights
dude,
on.
I'm glad you have like gasoline that's just so disposable to you.
Yeah,
you
good
can
point.
keep your
Good
car
point.
running out in the parking lot for that long.
How long has he been doing this?
As long, well, when did they move in? Maybe a year and a half ago.
Yeah, since they moved in.
So I started noticing something. When it,
That's
Mike,
true,
we're gonna have to
'cause-
go back into like your notes, or I don't know if you keep notes for no, not Buddy Guy notes. I was gonna say I was gonna say Mario Kart.
The buddy.
If you were keeping notes, you are for sure the stalker.
No,
now.
Mario Kart. I was gonna say like Mario Kart notes. I don't know if you keep Mario Kart notes to see when
Only
we
for
first
when
started.
the Ranma segments start. Not
So-
for. We talked about Buddy Guy at 2:52 tonight.
Mike, consult the Buddy Guy archives.
It might have been around a year ago because I remember distinctly, like in the middle of the night, going to the guest room to like open a window or close a window, and I saw the lights on his car on. I'm like, oh god, someone left their lights on in their car. That sucks for them. And I thought it was like a one and done thing, but then it kept happening. I'm like, wait a minute, there's someone in that car in the middle of the night.
All right, so here's what we're gonna do. Brady in chat is asking for what is the lore on Buddy Guy. So
Okay,
I would
oh boy.
like to hear. I'm gonna call on Tyson to explain
in his
the
own
lore of
words.
Buddy Guy.
Right. So Mike and Mary are creepy, and at all times keep tabs on every single one of their neighbors,
And gives
obsessively so.
them And what about the nicknames?
And gives them names that specifically don't make sense. And at some point, several months ago, they were recounting the story of this man who constantly is like outside in his car or around the car talking on the phone. Not just occasionally, but for hours at a time, all hours of the day. It's like he lives there. And of course, we all rightly
he does live there,
him...
just not in his car.
Right. We all rightly panned him as a creepo for caring. But as he's continued to update us, it does seem that there's some sort of
problem,
odd, foul weirdness going on there. It's a strange situation, to be sure.
If this guy
Not
was
as strange as caring, but
if this guy were having an affair, it would be less weird. Like if it was just like if he was having sex with somebody in his car, it would be less weird than just sitting there.
I actually agree with that.
the most.
So
I just want to point out that just because of the location of our house and how it's set up, the condo, looking out into the parking lot, every window of our house basically points in that direction.
Except for like the living room, which JP can attest to.
So as I've explained several times, I'm doing the dishes. There's Buddy Guy. I'm doing the laundry. There's Buddy Guy. I'm in the bedroom. I open up the curtains. There's Buddy Guy. Sometimes standing on his balcony looking back at me.
Otherwise, I was worried that I'm in the bedroom. There's Buddy Guy.
There's Buddy Guy.
So, since he's asking, where did the name Buddy Guy come from?
Well,
there's no good answer.
An Mary
that's why I
All-American
wanted to hear it.
classic, because Mary is responsible for the nicknames of all the neighbors.
Oh, okay, passing the buck. Gotcha.
And he's our friend because he's always there, so...
Yeah,
Why
I
wouldn't
think
he be your friend?
I think it first started off as like, oh, our friend is doing it, then it became our buddy, and then it just became like more and more condescending. Oh, Buddy Guy's out there again.
Condescendingly endearing.
Me, Brett, and Bryce did this with people in college who we didn't know, but like would see a lot and like just never about to learn their names.
Yes.
And I still know them by our made-up names. Like, oh yeah, I know Outrageous and Scabs.
I only know JP's college friends by their fake names.
Yeah.
I remember
Outrageous was the best one. Then
We
there
had-
was Juggernaut, Magmar.
Gotta catch
Magmar
all.
the Pokemon?
Pesterball was a big one.
Nice.
We totally had one on... He wasn't on our floor, but he got nicknamed
Shifty.
Shifty, yeah, for sure. He apparently went to high school with Andrew and I. I'm like, I don't know who the fuck this is.
And then he would like act all buddy with you and Andrew, and you were so polite because like you didn't remember.
I
the
didn't
dude.
know him. So Andrew spent a year in Germany before coming back over to college, and we roomed together. And so it was my freshman year. Andrew wasn't there yet. Like one night in the quad, in the pitch black, this guy approaches me. He's like, "Do you know Andrew Kenny?" Yeah.
Come with me, sir.
No.
So I told him about it. He's like, yeah, I know who that is.
And that's how he got his name.
And he was
Shifty?
already nicknamed Shifty by the time Andrew came the next year.
Oh, okay.
There's a
Ken,
guy I used to
somebody
see
else
around
is
campus.
in your house.
It's Buddy Guy.
Oh, God.
There he is.
Jesus.
There's a guy I used to see around campus who I thought looked a lot like me, and I called him Not Pay.
Not bad. I like that.
When Albert and Molly had a chance to see Buddy Guy in action today, Molly also very astutely was like, "Wow, I feel bad for the son. Like the son clearly wants his attention and."
Daddy,
Daddy,
please.
please.
Oh no, Mike, no, no. This is not the audio clip you need to generate of yourself.
There's my ringtone.
I will say, I think after now clarifying the timeline on Buddy Guy, I have a new, more sensible theory,
Yeah.
which is just simply that I would bet his wife and maybe also him work from home due to the pandemic, and he just takes calls outside because his wife also takes calls inside.
No, I thought that too, initially.
Why would it be from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m.?
He's hustling.
Like,
But
yeah.
I thought,
He's
and that's
a
why
CEO.
my new prevailing
Clearly you're
theory
not about to
is
grind,
like maybe he's
Mike.
a crypto guy or like an inside trader.
Like a day
Inside
trader?
I don't know what that means.
Call the fucking police.
But it's
Day
also-
trader is the word you're
That's
looking
just
for.
a straight up crime.
Yeah.
He's doing all the crimes.
He's pulling a Martha Stewart.
Yeah.
But you introduced yourself. You're like, "Hi, my name is Bud E. Guy, and I'm an inside trader."
Maybe he does business overseas.
I wondered that too.
The hours are.
So, all right, I've thought that too, but I've been just as creepy as Mary, and so his conversations all seem very chill and casual. Like
It's hard to tell because he's not speaking in English.
True, but
You heard him? Okay, that's a clue.
yeah,
That is
He's
interesting.
right
Oh,
outside
sorry,
their
I guess-
window.
What is like?
But
That
no,
gives
he's like
credence to the
clear.
overseas business.
He's straight outside their window, but like 70 feet away. It's like that's a clear line of sight, but like not within earshot unless they went to do
Oh, so
that.
Unless I
this is
go-
like a New York townhouse.
unless I go to my car and his car is directly in front of my car. So, like this morning when I went out to get my sunglasses or something, he's just sitting right there. So,
Been so tempted just to be like, what do you do?
You should just
Yeah,
do
why
it.
have
Get
you
it-
not done that?
Rip
Someone
off
just
the
go ask
Band-Aid.
him.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Because
Pop
then
the
they
pimple.
have
We're
to
not
move.
friendly people, and we don't talk
I
to our
don't want to
neighbors. 'cause
talk
it
to you.
creeps.
What? No.
I think we would all rather not have answers to these mysteries.
Yeah.
Yeah, otherwise we wouldn't
Yeah.
have this conversation starter.
Or it'll be like, hey, here's my neighbor. Here's his first name. Here's what he does for a living. It's boring.
The story's over now.
Yeah, it is.
No
it is
more
very
discussion.
like what's under Master Chief's helmet. What is in the hatch in Lost? Where it's like
Who's
perhaps
the
it's
Don't
Sanders?
best to
spoil
just
Lost for
not
me.
know at all.
I'm working my way through Lost. No talking about Lost.
Oh, love Lost.
You are
It was
way
a
too
big
late on
Lost
that.
fans
all
in
the
here.
time, so I started watching it. I'm like, just
Did you
started
hear-
season 3.
Did you hear Damon Lindelof just got hired to write a Star Wars movie?
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Ken's
that-
really stoked for it.
Oh, you missed me, but then the lightning got me.
Jesus. This happens every time.
Brady
See-
wants to know if I ever make eye contact with Buddy Guy. And
Oh, that was a whole. You guys remember that from months ago, right?
I did once. It
When
was
Mike
weird.
was like staring at him. It had no effect.
Nope.
Mike
I just
tried
turned
staring
around.
attack. It was not effective.
I just turned around to look at the video call, and all I saw was Ginyu's crotch, and I'm like, what is happening?
I can guarantee you there was no Ginyu crotch in my
It was-
video.
That
It
was
was
King
King
Cole
Cole.
for sure.
All right, whatever.
They're
all the same.
I have made eye contact twice. Once was I was just out walking and he was walking around with his son and I may have nodded. I don't remember. The other time he was in his car, I very specifically opened the garage door and went out with a cup of coffee and just stared at him for 5 minutes.
And it was around the time when we first realized this is like a
This is the
repeat
thing that's happening.
thing. Like this happens daily. And this doesn't seem normal. And Mike was like, I'm going to try and out-creep him. I'm like, I don't think you can out-creep him. It's not going to work.
Watch me.
I don't think he's playing by the same rules
Yeah.
as the rest of us.
He clearly doesn't care what people think of him, and we care too much. That's the problem.
Or he's thinking I'm sitting in my private car, just like living my life. What
But
do
the
I
car
care?
looks back at us, and it's weird. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
want to see
It's
them.
his fault.
What is this? Cars? The movie?
What nickname do you think he has for you guys?
Oh, Lord.
Creepy white people
Creepy
who
white
live
people,
next door.
yeah.
Yep, for sure.
Hey, those creepy white guys are that creepy white couple keeps looking at me when I'm in my car doing my legitimate
And
business.
today they brought over more white people to look at me.
Oh, God, yeah. They're probably so confused.
That one's gonna
I think by the
teleport
end
a
of it all,
lens.
they'll have the nickname The Defendants.
I want to know what they could pin on us.
Well,
I'm pretty sure stalking is a crime.
No, this is a private
Stalking?
residence.
We're not leaving the premises
I
and
can look
following him
anywhere I
around.
want to look. And I do.
Yeah, I suppose since you're not stalking him in his private residence, you may have some sort of legal recourse. I disapprove of it, though.
But
I
you
think
better
should have
call
none.
Saul.
Speaking of good shows,
It's ready.
You know,
Mozzarella
sticks
shows
again.
on that show.
Oh.
give
Alright.
it to me. What
I was
is
like,
it?
whose microwave
We
is
got
going
bread.
on?
Corn dogs, pizza?
It is
Mozzarella
a
sticks?
bisque.
That is the sound of
It is
TGI
a-
Fridays mozzarella sticks.
Good Lord, I'm going to heat up that leftover slice of pizza.
No,
right
About
now.
time
What
for a
is it
sponsor ad break, anyway.
What is it
It
actually,
is
Brett?
like a bisque that is some kind of a
Bisque.
like a pumpkin bisque or something like that. I
Okay.
forget what it was.
Okay.
Canned pumpkin bisque.
Ooh. I'm coming over.
Randy, on the break, would you like more watermelon gummies?
Maybe.
Oh,
I
Okay.
do.
Excuse me, how about you ask the rest of us if we would like watermelon?
yeah, did you bring it up for
I
the
don't know if
crowd?
they're legal in your state.
Someone
I don't know if it's illegal in any states.
Someone
Or
after-
illegal in any states.
after
Randy,
leaving
you
this
told me
morning-
not to be the narc, and it
Yeah,
was your
wrong
own
way,
husband
guys.
all along.
Oh god.
Did you guys rank watermelon near the top or bottom of fruit?
I don't like it.
Bottom.
Fruit
Candy?
Are we
Candy high.
talking the
Top
artificial
tier.
flavor or the actual fruit flavor? Because
Someone
those are
hands you
two
a
very
slice of
different answers.
watermelon. Are you like excited or like I
Nah.
guess?
Are
I'm
there
excited.
seeds?
I feel
I
obligated.
like it.
In the
Good, like very meaty watermelon is delicious.
Who
Meaty
just
watermelon?
fucking
If you have a
died?
meaty watermelon, you fucked up.
Yeah.
I just
they
like
call that a
jump
devil
up
fruit.
a ramp and into a
called a
crowd of
ham.
people with a tri-green on me, and it was amazing.
I was in
I was
the
in
No,
for
how
for
are
like
you
10
talking about it? It's called the flesh, the meat. That's what they call that.
It is called the Flash.
It's
I've
true,
never
yeah.
heard it called the meat.
Wait.
Arby's is
No.
not coming out with a watermelon slab anytime
We
soon.
have the
Flesh.
watermelon.
Honestly, as an April Fool's Day like joke sandwich, I would buy it. Just has a big
Watermelon's
slab
great.
of watermelon on it.
With like between two slices of bread, I bet that'd be
Yeah.
alright.
Billy,
No,
They
between
could
two
have watermelon
slices of
without
chicken,
watermelon.
this is Arby's.
Yeah, I'd say. Well, you know how like the what was it called, the double or whatever from
double down.
the double down
Double
started
Down.
as a joke. People were like, "No, we'll legitimately buy that," and they're like, "All right, here
No,
you go,
that was
weirdos."
great.
Yeah.
Good.
More
Yeah, it
protein.
was.
Oh,
What
sweet.
the fuck?
Sweet,
you
sweet, sweet, sweet.
Yay.
It's been a while since we played this one.
Whose fault was this?
Oh God.
Their me has red hair. Oh, I see.
Aha.
I think that's me.
Yep.
I hate this track.
What? This is a great track.
It's wonderful.
It's one of the only like old ones I like on here.
It's a trash.
I can only confront these things once a night, okay?
Egg
What,
once,
the train?
once.
The train, the cows,
the
the
train.
balls.
What are the balls?
You can only confront your balls
Waluigi
once.
pinball.
That seems like.
Well, it's not his balls, are they?
Yeah, it's V balls.
I mean, we don't
One and
know for
only.
sure.
Well, it's not
not
called
here-
Hin's pinball, is it?
Waluigi sniffs his own crotch.
He's not here to defend himself. So
I got a Waluigi custom avatar for Heat Saber just for when Mel comes over, so she can be Waluigi.
Does she do a Waluigi impression or something?
Her favorite.
Mel is in love with
She loves
Waluigi.
Waluigi because
Like-
actual physical love.
Sexually?
How can you not be?
I mean, they're both perverts, so you know.
Listen, I usually don't kink shame, but I'll have to make an exception
Whoa,
here.
right. I'm good. Here we go.
Oh,
Yeah, all right.
that
Get rid
mic,
of that.
nice.
Yep. All right. Ooh, this is gonna be tough. I
Okay,
got
this is
space.
gonna
like
be
that
Space.
we're
I
all
have to
sort of
refresh. All
grouped
right.
together.
All right.
This track.
Mike,
you get the wheel working yet?
I haven't done anything since we last talked.
Mike.
That's what you do when you buy a wheel.
Yep.
It's in the corner.
I didn't buy it. Let's be clear.
Oh,
Well, I
that's
guess
what you do when you steal a
That's
steering
covered.
wheel.
I did buy a power cord, so that's something.
Brett, when are you gonna hook yours back up? We gotta
Oh
get
my
one
god,
day.
it's sitting in my corner right now.
I mean, tomorrow's
All
open,
right.
right? Because there's no
Corner
race,
wheel
so
bros.
you got all the time in the world tomorrow, Mike.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
I do. All right.
Did
Got an
Brett do
extra
that?
hour and everything.
I'll find
mushroom.
a way to clamp
Yes.
it down tomorrow. I'll get the clamps.
Oh,
The
I think it's
clamps.
a- I think it's a 10 millimeter bolt you need.
Oh, okay. Except
Get him.
the
Are you
bottom-
kidding me?
Ah.
The bottom
The-
things are like sawed
One-
off. What was the deal there?
From the
I saw
finish
them
line, and a blue shell hit me.
Okay,
It was like a train of shells.
but why
Yeah,
did you
I
saw
was
them
like,
off?
"What is happening?"
I'm gonna yell over everyone else to get my answer on this. Why did you
Because
saw
I was
them
I was
off?
trying to mount it to my racing chair, which had like proper like bolt holes. And
Okay,
it was in
so
the way.
that's the thing. Yeah, do I need to get one of those giant like mount chair things that you can place
As
on-
I have told you since the second I handed it to you repeatedly, multiple times, including mere minutes ago,
Getting
You
Per
need-
my
need-
last email.
you need to buy some bolts to go into the bolt holes because the clamps are gone.
The what?
The clamps.
The clamps!
I think it's 10 millimeter bolts. And you said okay so many times that I didn't check it out, so I assumed you were going to look into it. Well, I guess not.
I think we got him at a 7 or 8 right now.
If any NASA
trying
spacecraft ever explodes due to overheating, I'm assuming it's JP's a fault by association.
I almost did. I'm trying to think.
He's like, oh, this is a legitimate topic.
Does re-entry count? Because
I think I have a higher record of destroying spacecraft.
I want to know how that's possible.
Because
I watch and they blow up. I don't
got
know.
everyone together to watch the CRS-7 launch at Vic's house. Like I was like, after pre-screenings weekend, like everyone get up like very slightly earlier, like watch it like 8 a.m. We'll watch this rocket launch to the ISS, and it was at one point. It was funny because I figured out what was happening like 2 seconds before everyone else. So we're watching, and all of a sudden I go, "Fuck!" and everyone's like, "What?" And then the rocket explodes.
What tipped you off?
There was like a plume of like a vapor near the top, because what happened was the second, what was it? It was the second stage let loose first. Why was that? I'm trying to remember what caused that accident. But basically, it was like something broke and it kept going for a little while, and then it just kind of like crumpled and unzippered, and then the spacecraft kept going. And it was a real bummer, because if they had the foresight to like say, hey, in the event of like LV destruction, like just deploy the parachutes, the spacecraft would have been totally fine. But they didn't, so they ended up losing like a spacesuit and important docking adapter and some experiments, which was a real bummer, because there was a student experiment on there that was built by these students who had built their experiment and tried to launch it on an Antares rocket earlier that year, which also blew up. And then so they put it on this. It was like 2 flights to the ISS in a row blew up, which was crazy. It was like, unheard of. But yeah, we watched it at Vic's, so now we're not allowed to watch launches at Vic's house. And what's funny
was another one I watched shortly thereafter that also blew up.
I was gonna say, I know. So when I was at that Falcon Heavy launch, the first one, I told you you're not allowed to watch because I am physically there. And I guess what's funny is like both side cores came back and landed, but the center core something went wrong and it missed. It just kind of crashed into the ocean near the landing vehicle, landing ship. And later you're like, oh yeah, I took a peek at it, so I think that center core was my fault. Like I watched part of the launch and part of it failed.
This is like the nerd version of not changing your socks when the Red Sox play or something.
Yeah, for sure.
You,
they can't
you
watch
say that,
launches.
listen, if you load up any footage of like when they do that, like the coverage of like the Mars stuff landing on Mars, you'll see the Mission Control in JPL. And if you look at their consoles, they all have jars of peanuts there because they had like multiple failures in a row and somehow like had a bunch of peanuts, and then like the next one worked. Like that's it, we're getting peanuts every fucking landing from now on.
Brett, did you have a communication error?
Yeah, I dropped.
It seems like it, yeah. There's definitely something actively frustrating about the fact that for all the shit we throw at him, JP is to a certain extent a literal rocket scientist. I really don't appreciate the juxtaposition there.
I'm not a prop guy though. Those propulsion people, they're fucking crazy. They're the rocket scientists.
Nerds. Fucking real nerds.
You're solving Rubik's cubes in 3.2 seconds. I don't know. I feel like that's not a prerequisite.
It was like 16 seconds.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
He does like to whip it out though.
There's that hierarchy of nerds thing of just like all nerds think this other group of nerds is nerdier than them.
That's like, well, at least I don't LARP.
Copy is like, let me see if I can find it.
What's hilarious about it's so true because I volunteered as an NPC for a LARPing thing, and even as someone NPCing at a LARPing event, I looked down on the LARPers.
No, I love.
Yeah,
I'm out.
We all did. I guess let's take the.
There's a Splatfest right now.
It knew that it was 9 o'clock.
All right, we will be back in a minute.
Your money back.
When I get a communication error, I love crunching into a big box of TGI Fridays mozzarella sticks. I don't know why I'm crunching into it, but that's the first word that came into mind.
You want it to be crunchy, a little crunchy.
Yeah, that's what the outside is for, the breading.
Yeah, if anything, if I get more worried if it doesn't crunch.
All right, let's take a look at this. Oh, erotic furries is way on the bottom. That is not a good sign. We are not starting this one off very well.
What are you doing?
They're at the end, I think.
Yeah.
I keep waiting to see if this refund has been issued for the CPU. They did
This
the
is
other
basically a cross-section of us.
Oh, did you post a thing?
Oh, there's a bigger one.
Camera reveal.
Yeah, there's like 2 different ones. If you click the link underneath it, there's like, here's another hierarchy. Like, we did more research.
Randy, you turning off your camera to eat a Delta 8 gummy is the funniest, most middle school shit I've ever seen.
And I just walked in there to give it to him.
I know, I saw. He didn't turn
Yeah.
the camera off for that.
Yeah, that was fine.
I was trying to locate where it was.
But the gummies, he was like, "Oh, I better turn off the camera."
How you
My
feeling,
mom's
Randy?
gonna find out I drank 1 beer.
I'm fine. I don't notice a difference. So I don't know if we looked it up because we had to look it up.
Did you just take another dosage of it?
Yeah.
How long
like
ago
2
did you
hours
take
later.
the first one?
Like an hour.
It's been like 2 hours.
You just choose the term dosage to describe a candy.
Yeah, so we didn't know that, so I had to look it up, and it's like, okay, well, I guess I have to take this gummy and cut it into fifths in order to like not go crazy.
Are you
It,
doing
yeah, it
cocaine?
depends on the,
Wait,
the
Yeah, is
amount.
it,
What was that?
is it a
Mike?
fentanyl gummy?
No.
I'm agreeing with you. Like that is something that you do, depending on the amount.
They legalized
milligrams.
edibles here like 2 months ago, so we decided to try them out.
You just reminded me. My mom got cataract surgery recently, and the nurse was like, "All right, I'm gonna give you some fentanyl now." And she was like, "Oh,
Ugh,
all right."
no.
You're my dealer now, huh?
I found out I had it after the fact with my appendectomy. I was like looking over everything they gave me. I was like, "Fuck, I had fentanyl. I'm one of the cool kids
Oh,
now."
jeez. I was gonna say, are y'all able to get back in? But it looks like you're slowly rolling
Yep.
in here.
The
I
real
didn't
problem
know
is
fentanyl
I'm in
was
the room
actually
with all the
prescribed to
munchies.
People.
And that's the whole point.
Yes,
Is it's like
it's-
super potent.
It's
So
an
that,
actual synthetic opioid, but then
Yeah.
is bootleg.
I thought they just gave it to like horses or something.
when you, it's like morphine, but like if you cut it properly, at a real dose by professional doctors, it's effective. And if you're just some dude on the street, you might go overboard a little bit.
No, it's this is literally what my job is now. It's actually hugely addictive and a problem.
So I go
I
out
said
to the.
effective. I
You
didn't
may
say
want to
not
clarify that for the lawyers listening.
No, I don't need to.
You're like, yeah, this is my life now. Like,
I'm on the
you're
other
gonna need
side.
a second sentence to that.
I am on the preventative side of it.
Oh,
No.
Start,
Okay.
You can start Mario Kart without me. I can't. I gotta hop out early, so I'm gonna do chat for a little bit.
Boo. Well, I'm still waiting on lots of people.
I'm joined.
I got kicked out again, so now.
Oh my
What?
God! Wait! JP, wait!
I'm here for a while.
I forgot to mention something.
Okay.
All right.
Alright,
My
I'm
phone
How
just reminded me. I set
How
an event
inflammatory
to
will this
remind
be?
me. A few days ago, me and Doug and Randy were playing that new Dragon Ball game together,
Oh no.
Oh,
and Randy thought your name was PJ.
That happens a lot. I need
He's
someone-
been in how many of these Mario Kart nights? And he called you PJ more than once before we corrected
Look,
You'd
him.
be shocked how often it happens.
It was that or the angry guy, but I was like, oh, I remember the letters.
Angry guy. Oh
Look,
no.
if I mention something in cart, I'm like, there's the rocket scientist, the guy who I think is in charge, and the guy with all the video effects.
During the break, I went out to
Interesting.
to the living room, and my wife had the stream up, just muted. But I come out, and she goes,
The only
"Oh,
way
she's-"
they talk anymore.
I go out there, and she goes, "Why does everyone look so unhappy?"
Brett joined. That's
Oh,
why.
no.
Well, it's because I have resting bitch face, which is why I'm not on camera.
I knew someone
Hard
in high school
same.
who couldn't remember my name and just would call me 2 random letters every time. So she'd call me, occasionally
JR.
JP and then PJ, but like
DJ.
like DJ, TV, CD, like whatever.
well, we went on the cruise because they need your official
Oh yeah.
documented names. It was so surreal going
You're not
from
gonna
like
say
venue.
it, are
No, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say
Yeah,
it. But,
it's Steven. It's really weird.
but we
but
would
it's
go to
spelled
the
with a
venues
J.
and be like, "Oh yes, Mr. Blah blah." I'm like, "Who? Oh yes, he is with us."
Yeah, they really gotta put like preferred name on those
Right.
cards because it was legitimately confusing. Like, who the? Oh, you're talking to me.
Okay, like I used to go to a lot of furry conventions. That happens all the time. Like you've only known somebody by a name for like 10 years. Then they're like, "Oh, by the way, that's my real name." I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. It's like when I went to go work in Buffalo with my friend we knew each other online as like I know him as Topaz,
Mhm.
and then like we're like in an office with professionals, so it's like, hello, Eric.
I literally cannot call him Eric. Like the words don't come out of
I
my
actually
mouth.
thought this person that you've referenced before, you reference him a lot, so I thought his real name was Topaz. I'm like, that's a dope
Yeah, I
name.
don't think we know.
It's just his screen name, but like it was like once I moved from Buffalo, it was great because I could just start calling him Topaz again. Because we never like like if I call him Topaz at work, it was like this is too confusing.
Yeah.
That's
If
his
someone-
hacker name.
If someone called me Detective X in real life, I would crawl out of my skin.
Noted.
I definitely
Noted.
got a lot of EX in the early convention days.
Interesting.
Yeah.
A lot of EX. I was
Yeah, it's
cringing.
that exact thing, which is why I stopped using like screen names in general. It's like if I ever meet someone in real life, I do not want to go by a screen name.
I always went by
You don't
Mary
wanna sound
or
like a
some
cool
variation
gamer?
thereof. I
Yeah,
either-
Mary was easy.
I either went by
That was an
Mary.
awesome
Mary.
name.
It was either Mary or Mary C for like my maiden.
Well, you didn't.
Last
oh,
name.
Fuck! I just hit a car. You didn't use Mary on the. I hit a second car. You didn't, you didn't use,
Me when I'm driving in real life.
you didn't use Mary on the org because it was taken by someone from like 10 years prior or something. I think.
Yeah, so it was Mary C on the org and then Mary TOT as my second AIM handle.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, the first name handle.
My first screen name on AOL or AIM, whatever, was Tremors 64.
Ooh.
Wow.
We're
Nice.
5 numbers off from something really amazing.
That's a lot of tremors.
I did not have an N64. I just thought it was cool.
Big Mega 64 fan.
I have been
My first screen name was on CompuServe and it was Sailor V.
Nice.
I have been using the same screen name since like, God, like
do math.
25
Oh,
years.
no.
It's gonna hurt.
You just made me do it. I realized that Yacht Pay is like 22 years old.
Yeah. Vegito
I'm trying to
EX
think.
was December 25th, 1997. So.
That was their first
Jesus
and only, wasn't it?
Christ alive.
He remembers his internet birthday. What the?
Yeah.
Because it was
he's
Christmas Day when
outside.
we
He wasn't really
Yeah.
alive until that day. Let's be real.
I did
I'd have
have
to
True.
I did
I would
have
have
like
to-
online access before that. I had an email address that was Fulgore51. Fulgore
I would have to
being
check
Killer Instinct, and
what-
51
Oh,
being
dude,
Area
fucking
51.
Fulgore is sick.
Yeah,
You mean
right,
what?
man. Come on.
What'd you get it from?
Killer Instinct.
Killer Instinct.
That's a deep
I
cut.
w-
That's a medium cut at best.
I need to
Yeah,
check
that's a
when a
medium
video
cut.
game launched, and I can tell you how old my online name is.
After Sailor
Let's
V,
see.
my next screen name was Trunks81, which I actually still have because it's my AOL email address. And I use my AOL email address just for like junk mail and coupons.
I think I made my Daizenshu EX forums account in 2004, so that's probably the earliest use of Detective X.
Wow.
That was
Wow.
the reinstallation of the forum.
Somewhere.
Yeah, yeah. If you date back that far,
Or
yeah.
Jesus.
no, I was also using it
my
on
E-
Dragon Ball Toy Island, so maybe it was that too.
My username is 23 years old as of like 2 days ago.
Ooh.
Because it was a character in a video game that me, my dad, and my uncle all played. So I was like, when did that game launch? Because I know we bought it on launch day.
Brady says
Which
he's
was-
been using Ashura since the 90s. I could see if I can dig up what your editorial was on DBZ Uncensored
Wait,
and see what name you used back then. Was it
let me take off my
Usher?
headset. Who are we talking about?
Brady? Disco
Okay.
Tech Brady.
Brady had editorials. I loved editorials
He wrote
on
one.
DBZ
Yeah, he had one
Uncensored.
on DBZ Uncensored. Did you have one on my site too? Yeah, let's dig it up. Let's read it live on stream.
A dramatic reading with all the mic voices that you know and love.
Can I ask?
No.
Yeah, you can ask whatever you want, Randy.
Well, I wanted to ask. Can I ask Brady a question?
I'm going to allow this.
What are some good places where I could get good tips on designing things like DVD covers and such?
I also have
The
a question
internet.
for Brady.
Yeah,
What
let's get more
demon did you make a
specific.
contract with to get Digimon looking so good?
Right? God damn.
Speaking of things we need to order from Discotech from Right Stuff.
Pre-order because it's not out yet.
Oh, isn't it December? It's in like a month, right?
That's the English version. And then
That's the
get
one I
that.
want.
Well, I'm getting
Oh,
both.
Shit.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want, obviously. We'll be in the house either way.
Mike, didn't we just watch a discotheque release the other day?
Yeah, Brady, did you guys do Robot Carnival? Yeah, of course you did. Your name was in the credits.
Oh yeah, and you were like, I know that guy.
I know all these guys.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, it was.
I probably haven't watched Robot Carnival in
Beautiful
20 years, so
experience.
that was like watching it for the first time.
What was the one we
I
just
swear
bought?
to God.
Princess and the Pilot?
Princess
Is that
and the Pilot.
discotheque?
Yep.
Okay.
That was
Because
close.
we've got that. We're still in the middle of Stardust Memory, like Gundam, and then we'll probably get back to more discotheque stuff.
Can you guys just watch the lesbian Gundam show, please?
I know we need to.
I know.
It's so good.
I also want to watch it,
But also,
my brain is like,
I want to try out Urusei Yatsura for the first time. I've never read
Yeah,
or
buddy.
seen.
Oh my
I read
God.
it, and I was like, this is very good. I don't think this is for me. But I'm like,
I
this
hear
new
ya.
anime looks really pretty.
So there's like two different versions of Urusei Yatsura. There's like the standard episodes, and then there's like
The Mamoru
Oshi on
Oshii
fucking
episodes.
crack movies and episodes.
Like, did I just watch art?
Yeah.
What happened?
Jesus.
All right, Brady's answering your questions in chat, so please
I didn't-
forget about
I
your
didn't-
racing and read his answers. Thank you.
I didn't even know that could happen. I got knocked mid-air by a shell in the like rocket launcher. So I went from like 4th to 10th. And there's no way to catch up now.
I have a question for Brady. What
All
has
right.
been your dream project that you've gotten to work on so far?
Didn't know you were getting interviewed tonight,
I
did you?
know.
Just turned into a panel.
It's not often we get like industry peeps.
It's what you get for showing up and chatting with us.
Yeah, that'll teach you.
It's now a
the
panel,
rules.
haha, and Mike is the moderator.
Reanimated lip flaps? Oh my god, what the hell?
Isn't that it from
Mad
Digimon?
Men. Yeah. That's crazy.
I gotta open Twitch.
Was it to get around like interlacing issues? We're gonna be delayed here.
Probably
We've already asked like
censorship
3
stuff.
different questions.
Mike, you gotta brush up on your moderation
wow.
skills.
Yeah.
I thought you were a pro. I thought at your job you were known as like the best interviewer ever. Like, Mike, you're so good at interviewing. How did you get so good? And you're probably like,
I guessed the right answer. See,
wait, well, I don't.
I got it.
Let me
I'm-
take my headphone off. What-
Don't worry about it.
Okay, I'm very worried.
Woman, silence.
Whoa, you need to step the fuck off.
What were we talking about?
Buddy guy's about to call it a domestic dispute.
Oh, we are playing? Damn it, I was going to have some pretzels. Loudly chew them right into the microphone.
Well, just
JP's favorite.
Yeah,
So-
Pretzel Churchill.
I don't
hey.
do. I don't do Twitch too often. How do I see previous chat messages if I just got in now?
Oh, dude, gotta watch
Don't
the VOD,
unless
sorry.
once you get to the VOD, that's about it.
Ugh.
That tamarind vodka I was talking about, I finally found something it mixes well with.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
The key lime LaCroix.
Really?
Hell yeah.
I, this
Oh,
is
wow.
so sweet. I can't stand it by itself.
But mixed
There's no
with something,
sugar in LaCroix.
I think it probably needs to get balanced by something that you mix with it, like you said.
Yeah, yeah.
A tamarind liqueur? Alright.
No, tamarind vodka. Straight up.
Vodka. Okay.
We're talking 35%, brother.
Brett, if you bomb me one more time tonight, I am going to bomb your house.
Oh, yeah. If I see another boomerang, I'm boomeranging someone's house.
Don't know how much damage that'll do, but it's gonna happen.
I know
There
a
are
house
so
you
many
can use
fire
for target
flowers, I'm going to set
practice.
somebody on fire. And then there's only one racer, one other racer within my area of effect. So.
Oh no.
I want to cut out all of Ken's just vocalizations.
I think a
He
lot
did
about
a
how
monkey
Tyson
laugh
says
track.
I always think a lot about Tyson saying I'm like a poggers person.
Yeah, he's a PogChamp gamer. He's very Twitch stream in real life, just naturally.
Not like the rest of us sad faces. So sad to be here.
He's just an emotive man. He feels strongly about everything.
Why are they so sad?
Because it's Mario Kart.
Because it's
'Cause we're
been
in our-
2+ years and we're still playing Mario Kart on Saturday night.
Okay,
thought we
'cause
were done
in
at the
our
race.
30s. because we're in our 30s and we just know more about.
we
the
are
world.
not
you
in our
sweet
30s.
summer child.
Yeah, we're in our 30s already.
Wink.
I did tell my wife that it was just another rough night of Mario Kart.
Listen, man,
You
we're going
believe
through
it.
a lot of shit right now.
It's constant Brett winning. It's just another.
Yeah.
Another.
It's a constant Brett problem.
I've been dealing with that constant problem for decades.
Whoa.
Brady,
Yeah,
if you
next time
wanna,
she asks, just say Brett.
Brady, if you want to hang out, I'll DM you the chat link. You can both play Mario Kart and chat with us. You can deal with everyone's questions in real time.
And I'm gonna bug you
Like,
about
who's
the
Brady?
cover thing again because it was.
Yeah, Mike, I think you need to make some introductions.
All right, hold on. I'm getting there.
Mike's like, I gotta win this race, and then I'm gonna
Yeah, by win, 5th place.
win 5th place.
All right. How does Twitter work? Does Twitter still exist?
Aw.
All right, Brady, check Twitter. Join us if you choose.
I still have not bookmarked the Jitsi link. I
You got him.
check yours and my Discord DMs every
Do you
single time.
every
I
single
come in.
time?
I
Mine
did
just
that for a couple
auto-completes.
months.
Yeah.
It's the only Jitsi
I
link.
just start typing one of the words in there, and off it goes.
Yeah,
I
you know
just
what? That's a
typed
good
J.
point.
Yeah,
It's
I
there.
rely on the autofill.
I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah.
I
I'm
get
gonna
to
do that next
JI
time.
and I get to JI and it autofills a lot of different stuff.
Oh no! Oh my no!
This is what I live with every day.
And
It's
you are
fun.
blessed.
It's fun.
Could be worse. Could be Brad.
Tyson is still thinking real hard about that one, and I appreciate that. What a sweet, innocent boy.
That's my problem, is that I'm really the other way around, but I still am not processing this.
The other way.
It's okay. You can leave me in this state. I'll just think about it.
I could just say
You know
it's
what?
a
No.
slang term for ejaculate. How's that?
Oh, I mean, sure. What are we?
It was not a genius joke. You were thinking about it way too much.
Tyson could not instantly recognize the imagery of Daily Dose.
That's not
So
okay.
he
This
is,
is
in fact,
such a
quite
misrepresentation of the situation.
What a lawyer answer.
It was Daily Dose fed through AI, so it was like some leaves and a stick,
No, very rich
like
iconography.
evocative of Daily Dose, and it did not initially occur to me what it was.
Now, if someone's watching, wondering what Daily Dose is,
I am.
I'm
just
not
giving
going to
it
tell
Google.
you.
I'm very confused.
I'm actually.
I'm here.
I'm like, am I gonna
Daily
learn
Dose.
something new?
Thanks,
Sentinel?
Doc.
Yeah, see, Ken, they don't know. Get
Good.
fucked.
I wish I could be there with you.
Am I
Did I get
better
Brett?
off
You
not
don't.
knowing?
Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Intruder! Intruder!
JP, get angry at him. Quick, chase him out.
Give me
right.
all
Do
your
that thing
opinions
you
on
always
launch
do.
vehicles.
The thing you're loved and well known for.
All right. So Brady is as oldest of old school Dragon Ball fans as some of the rest of us, and does all the awesome stuff at Discotheque.
Hello? Does this work?
It does.
Yeah.
What's up,
Hey,
Brady?
No.
we did it. Technology.
Yeah.
What is discotheque?
Discotheque is a distributor,
JP,
right?
if you would buy something every once
Yeah,
in a
they make
while.
discs.
I buy lots of things. I buy things constantly. I just bought a
You're not
Blu-ray of
wrong.
Little Witch Academia.
I have been buying discotheque stuff since like 2007 or 8.
So you were getting
I mean,
that,
it's the gold
that-
standard.
that-
What's the
that
thing you
wacky
buy things from?
Live action
Established
stuff.
I bought Animal Treasure Island and like The Wonderful World of Puss in Boots
Yes.
off
the
of like
oldest.
yeah. I
First-
still have those DVDs on my wall.
I would keep them for for now because they're way out of print.
How often do you have things going out of print? Like, I would assume it's like if I wanted to get a Lupin the Third Part 1 set, is that still something that I could grab?
Yeah,
to-
that's you're pretty safe with that. It's
All
kind
right.
of it's kind of random, but like if it doesn't sell, then it probably won't get a reprint. That's the key.
That's the easy rule.
Yeah, not that you'll know like what sells or what doesn't sell, but I mean, generally, we try to say, hey, these are going out of print. Also, if like the license, goes away, like what is it? Dear
Brothers.
Dear Brothers, yeah.
Dear Brothers.
Like we put that out and said, hey, the license for this is only lasting for like another year or something like that. Yeah.
I have another random question, but I'm not sure if this is more your department or anything. When Discotech puts out a set and they're like, okay, this is only limited like a 2,000 run, and I do the math and I'm like 2,000 and it's like a $20 set. Licensing has to not cost that much for some of these things, right? Like, not astronomical anyway, because if you're selling it for $20 and there's 2,000 pieces, like,
some of it is like, some of it's that, but sometimes it's also like on streaming too.
Okay.
But also like, some of that is like, maybe that won't sell, so it'll be a limited run. Like, I know that's sort of an experiment, the numbered stuff. So
I will say it's working. I've been buying every single one because I don't want to miss out on it. I don't even care what it is. I gotta know.
I need to get I Am Umaso or Heart and Yummy. I need to get that one.
I picked that one up, but I haven't watched
Yeah,
it.
I had you order that for me.
Yeah.
That one is one that I wish we could have dubbed in English because it's such a like heartwarming. The first movie is such a heartwarming movie. It's like one of the most wholesome and cool things that I've ever got to work on. That like, I don't know, like I work for Discotech. Like that's sort of like my night job. In my day job I work game dev, so like I work on like mostly right now I work on the fighting game Skullgirls. So like
Whoa.
You have extension.
We've been memeing that game for years.
Oh, cool. Like if you know Fukuwa, like I accidentally made up Fukuwa. Like that was my fault. But like I'm the lead UI designer, graphic artist on that game. So like,
interesting.
I made like all the UI and like the logo and the key art and stuff. Like that's all.
Damn, we're a bunch of nobodies.
I did the header art for a website once.
I've heard
I was
done.
proud of it.
You say that, but like
you've done book covers.
As a person, like that's the thing. Like there's so many like just people on Twitter who treat you weird because you do things. It's just like, well, I'm just a guy. Like I've just done this.
Your job.
Yeah, like I don't know. I mean, like I started doing websites for ADV when I was 17 or 18, something like that, like way back in the day. So like I've been sort of entrenched in this stuff. Yeah, like this. It's just sort of like what I fell into after high school. So I've never really like I worked at a deli for like 4 years, and then I taught myself how to like build websites, and then I worked for like anime and video games. Some weird like path.
All right, Brady, my most important question for you. I see Virtua Fighter is out. When am I getting Art of Fighting?
Oh, geez, they keep people ask about that, and I don't know.
I'm not joking either.
Oh no, you're not joking, but we would do it though. That's the thing, and then I would make sure it has both voice tracks for the Japanese version.
Did they do like a redubbing years later or something, or?
Well, I'm trying to remember who's the voice of one of the characters became a very famous singer, and so like apparently she's like really like ashamed of this movie or whatever, but the American version is the original audio.
Yeah.
So, like I would try and make sure both of them are on there. But yeah, they like reissued it and like scrubbed her name out of it.
That's
for
weird.
some reason. Yeah. There's a lot of weird stuff like that. And
I assume when you're famous enough, you can just be like, I don't ever want to see that again.
Yeah, let me look up who it was. I'm trying to remember. But no, see, that's the thing. Like, that's the kind of.
He has one version of it, right? Yeah. I forgot we even had that.
Is it a fighting game? I have it.
Yeah. It's Yuri was played by Yumi Hamasaki. That's right.
Oh, no wonder.
In the
Okay.
original,
Who is that?
She sang the main theme to Dragon Ball Evolution. That's all she's known for.
Yeah, just that. Yeah.
Little thing you might have heard of.
I feel like I'm the least dorky person in this chat, which really says a lot about the caliber of dorks here.
Yeah, Brett watches sports, so.
Oh, gross!
Oh, jeez.
The dorkiest people I've ever met
that's the
are
thing,
into
though.
sports.
You can be a sports nerd now. It's okay to be a nerd in another thing. Like,
That's true.
There's a whole
like,
movie about
fantasy
how
fo-
important math is to baseball, actually.
Yeah, and like I feel like fantasy football and like sports betting really changed how dorky people were into football.
All right, now I bought something from Discotech. I just bought Nia Under 7.
There you go.
Does
cool.
Discotech is known for doing a lot of saves, right? Like they save like licensed properties that expired eons ago.
yeah, we go for really old stuff and sometimes really like janky stuff. Like,
You're in the right room then, my dude.
Yeah, like I like working for Discotech because like it's all the old stuff I liked as a kid, and I'm lucky enough that I've worked there for so long that I can just sort of go down the schedule and say, hey, this is the thing I want to do, because it's like it's my my spare time, right? And so like I'll get into these like really horrifically complicated projects like Sherlock Hound or whatever.
Was that you worked on Dr. Slump in some capacity, right?
Yeah,
or
yeah.
did Mike like maybe I'm misremembering something
Yeah.
Mike told
Jake
me?
did the sub check on that, right?
Yeah, he like rewrote, like he re-edited it all too, so it was in like it was all like
Comprehensible.
canonically comprehensible, like it all made sense. Yeah. And he had written a bunch of liner notes, but we weren't able to include them. I'm hoping like someday down the line, if like there's HD masters for it, we would ever get to do that. But like I don't know if that would ever come back around. Like I'd love to actually finish those, but those are such like those sold so like not so good that the thing is I think now there might be more of a market for it.
Yeah, probably now there would be. Yeah.
Like now that like
She showed up in Super. Everybody knows who she
Yeah.
is.
yeah, like
Everyone
now
knows
that
her all
people know
right
who
now.
she is, but even I mean like when we started there was like not a big market for Lupin, and now we've done like every Lupin. We did that big stream a couple weeks ago, and they put like the pictures up of like all the Lupins I did this year, and I'm like I don't remember this. Like literally, I think like we've only got one more TV series left potentially, and then like we're just like going through all the specials. Like I've been through like Lupin hell the past 8 years somehow.
Did you do a Fujiko Mine re-release?
Yeah, it's better than the old one.
Yeah.
Because like we actually went through and translated the opera and everything in the one episode.
Oh, cool.
Can not Lupin related, but I wanted to spit it out. I'm not sure. I mean, obviously it's a group effort because there's a lot of working parts to getting this sort of thing running. But whoever made, the Samurai Troopers Blu-ray a thing, I'm so thankful for. It's like, man, I love that show as a kid, and I bought the DVDs when they came out. I'm like, oh, I really wish this had the dub for the TV series too, though. And then, dream come true with that Blu-ray.
Yeah, so have you watched the dub on the Blu-ray? Like,
I jumped into spot check it. We just finished watching the TV series in Japanese.
Okay.
But I've accidentally had it start in English. I'm like, just how I have my Plex server set up. Anyway, but it's like it plays the opening video, right? But it's playing like the instrumental English opening like during it or something like that. I mean, there's
through
a lot of edit to it.
Yeah, so that show was a really weird show in that, like that was my project, and it almost didn't have like the English dub on the HD, but like, so what we learned about Rona Warriors is that a Japanese show is usually like 25 minutes long, and then when they were dubbing it, they were like, okay, so we're gonna cut off the opening, the ending, the next episode preview, the commercial bumpers, and that's like 7 or 8 minutes or something, right? Like something like about 7 minutes probably.
Is it like they randomly cut frames here and there just to get it?
That's such a minute's difference.
No, this is such a weird thing. Like so, then they decided that they're not going to edit the actual show, so the show is not really edited at all.
Okay.
But they cut all that stuff out of it, and then it left like it was like 18 minutes long, And so they were like, okay, so we're going to put our own opening, our own ending, and our own
sure.
previews.
Oh.
And those are only like a minute and a half. So we have to make the show last longer. So what they actually did is for like the A part and the B part of the episode, they would just slow it down a random percentage.
Oh my god.
Whatever it took to make the English version like 24 minutes or whatever it was.
Yeah. Holy shit.
So the English dub in like is the only English dub I've ever found that is actually slower than the American, like the original Japanese somehow. So, and every episode is completely different. Like the first episode's not slowed down at all. The second one is like the first part is like you have to speed it up 105%. The other one is like 102%. The other, like, it's crazy. Like we had like this huge spreadsheet that like tracked all the percentages, and then like math.
And then you probably have to do like the pitch correction on stuff.
Yeah, so we had to run it all through like audio editing, and then like figure out the exact percentages to speed these up. So we did like the math in Premiere, and then after that we had to take it outside of Premiere because the audio in Premiere is shitty, and then apply the percentages in like Audition outside, and then make sure it sounded good. And like it was the most insane thing I've ever done in my life.
Wow.
This sounds like the most fun thing. This is like the most Vic thing possible.
No, like oh my god. And then they'll be like, be like, oh, here's a random scene that's 108%. Like,
I'm gonna get to it because I watched it originally English dubbed, and knowing that so much work went into it. Yeah, but like Andrew had never seen it before. I'm like, well, I watched it in Japanese for the first time when the DVD came out. I'm like, we gotta do it this way, I think.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
I mean, I can't believe.
I'm glad somebody watched it and checked it out, because that took a long. That was, like I said, that was one of my projects. Our pal Logan did the subtitles. I designed the packaging, like, and I produced like the dub and stuff. And like the fact that the dub worked after we did all that was ridiculous. Like there was like one part where we were like, there's like one small scene they didn't dub, and we like invented the audio for that from like another episode.
Whoa! Wow. Really?
It's like some AMV editing shenanigans.
Yeah.
What was the show that you and Mark did like your own little dub on?
Oh, Ninja Robots.
That's it.
I'm so excited to watch that.
We have that on the shelf.
In the machine, that one drove me nuts. Like the whole like the dub was like completed from like people who had VHS tapes from all over the world.
Yeah.
Like I got a tape of the last episode from somebody in like Kuwait, I think it was.
Wow.
And it was like $60 to mail it, and like customs held it for 2 weeks.
Oh, jeez.
And they're like, "Are you guys trying to find like a bomb in my Ninja Robots?" And like the tape is literally like one episode of Ninja Robots and like a bootleg of Street Fighter 2 the animated movie.
Wow. Another discotheque joint. Right there.
I mean, sometimes your license rescues are just like insane, because my white whale of license rescues, because I believe this was a discotheque release, was Kyoko Mao.
Yeah.
And just not only getting the first 2 seasons back, because I had those DVDs in like 2004, but like also we have the dub. Also here's season 3, which never came out in the US before, and the OVA. I'm like, well, guess you're getting hundreds of my dollars.
Yeah, we really try, and like it's ridiculous now because we're doing like 10 discs a month, I think, at this point.
Wow.
And like I do like two projects a month at most, and I'm doing less next year because like we ran out of like crazy projects that I want to do, and I'm just tired. So
that's fair. It's not your day job.
Yeah, I'm really trying to like we're working on Gunbuster right now, and it's like
oh yeah,
it's like kicking my butt, but it's almost done. Like I'm excited for people to watch the English dub of it,
because it's a new dub, right? You guys
yeah,
are
we literally did it like last year or this year, yeah.
JP, did you end up watching Gunbuster?
No, I made it. I mean, I still gotta work on it. I can't pick at shows for a long time.
It's only 6 episodes.
Yeah.
Listen,
It's an exhausting 6 episodes. There's a lot that happens.
It gets pretty
No.
intense.
It is work.
I would say it's worth maybe waiting because we retranslated it. So it's got like a better translation with more like I don't know. The old one was not bad, but it was sort of stilted. Like this one has more like it gets the character voice down better.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah.
Like Noel, who does like Simple Gear for us, did Gunbuster.
I just want more Dr. Slump. I want the rest of the Slump movies.
Why don't you guys just license Rescue Dragon Ball and put out a good one?
Yeah, God.
I will do commentaries for free.
God. Yeah, that's never going anywhere.
No. But a guy can dream, man.
Like I would love to do like Ghost in the Shell standalone complex or something, but that is another one of those ones where it's just sort of like
they're wrapped
stuck.
up.
Yeah, I mean, one part of it is though like it's hard to enjoy a thing after you work on it.
I'm sure.
So like, I mean like The Castle of Cagliostro is an amazing movie, but I've worked on it 3 times at this point, and like I'm just sort of like, yeah, okay, like.
Oh, I missed it before because I logged into Twitch after the chat. But could you summarize your chat point about designing cover art?
Oh, okay. So like, it's like almost a lost art at this point, because like everything is just digital at this point. It's kind of like making stuff for the internet with more dumb steps to it. Like thinking about like
nothing gets better than this art of fighting cover art.
Look at that! Look at that!
That's good stuff right there.
Look at that difference clouds on the cover, man.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty sweet. Who put that out?
This
Anime Igo.
Anime Works.
U.S. Manga Corps.
Oh yes, okay. So it was, yeah.
That was one of their 3.
Like. It's like, oh, you designed this thing, but you also have to think about like what are the black levels on this, and like, I mean, if you
I think about that every day.
Yeah, you sure do. Oh, hold on. So I need to pause. This actually came up at, I forgot what the forum conversation was. Vic, what is the deal with the black levels? And Brady, you can probably answer this too. 15 and 235 versus 0 and 255.
Those are
That's just how TVs do. It's because it's an analog signal.
Yeah.
It needs. That's just the range that they decided to. This is black. This is white. Deal with it because it's not RGB.
Yeah.
So when RGB came out, they were like, okay, how do we turn this black into a color? And it just ended up falling in. Oh, it's really like 16% black, or not 16%, but 7.5%, or however it works out.
Yeah, it's like TVs like YV12 or UE. So it's like, how do you sort of convert them back and forth? I mean, it's not as like hard now, but like, the stuff for like Blu-ray is still YV. Like it's still not
like RGB. We still use it.
Yeah. It's like you still use it, so it's not as hard to convert, but like you try not to. I mean, like some of the upscales I've had to convert to RGB, right? Because it's like running it through like stuff like Waifu or whatever uses RGB, right? So you have to convert it, but you sort of hope that this is going to look better this way. Like when I did what was it, Darkstalkers?
I can still buy that.
I think I need to buy that too.
It's like the most like outrageous upscale I think we did in terms of like a cell show. It looks really good though. Like I mean, you would like nobody has ever asked if it's an upscale, even though it is.
Wow.
Like from what we learned from Capcom, like they don't have the film reels for that. Like,
oh my god!
They found us a Darkstalkers film reel, and it was like one episode of like the '90s cartoon.
Oh my god! The American one.
And like, yeah, the American one, and it didn't like it wasn't even like the full episode. It was just like part of it.
Holy shit!
That's amazing.
The Japanese countries let you have like free reign over what kind of touch-ups you do.
I mean, if they don't know.
This is what your sounds like the lawyer's problem.
I mean, well, yes and no. Like, we have a really good relationship with TMS. So, like,
oh, cool.
Like, for instance, Sherlock Hound, they knew we were restoring that, right? And they literally asked us for our HD masters for it.
Yeah,
right?
Wow.
Cool.
Wow.
I mean, in general, they usually don't care that much. Like Project Echo. Like,
I was gonna ask about Project Echo.
We bought that. We haven't rewatched it yet, but we bought it.
Wait, we did buy it?
Yeah, we sure did.
Oh, thank God. Okay, cool.
So, like, Project Echo.
That was such a good story.
I literally, for the art though, I literally found, like, I just bought things from eBay, like art books and stuff, and scanned them in. And I was like, I'm just going to put all this on the box and we'll see what they say, because they gave us nothing. And, like, I was like, well, let's see if they reject this. And then they were just like, okay, so send us all of this. we want all of this. Even, like, the artwork that Mariel did for the cover. They wanted that too, so they were like all on board with it, and they asked us for like our features and stuff too. Like they were like, "Can you send us your special features?" I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, let's watch that tomorrow, Mike.
Could you go back to talking about the DVD cover thing before we derailed into talking about TV colors and
yeah. I mean, and so it's like, I would if you're looking into packaging design, I would look into Adobe InDesign. I mean, it's really you build a project, you build something in Photoshop and bring it into InDesign, and then like you do all your there you go, Project Echo.
There we go.
That's Mariel's
sales pitch.
Nice artwork.
This is not a paid endorsement. We just bought all the things.
Thank you for supporting me and helping me fix my house. my extra money.
Yeah, Randy and I cannot like use visual aids because we are both playing Mario Kart in separate rooms. Then the entire room that is taken up by the anime bookshelves. And I want to say like at least a quarter of that is discotheque stuff.
I hope so at this point.
Awesome. Well, like I said, I am glad and thankful for like everybody who ever like buys our stuff or goes on our crazy journeys of like impossible things. Like I've done so many weird and impossible projects. Like and some of it's only like because I'm like, I wonder if I can make this happen. Like,
you see how far you take it.
Yeah, like what was it? Like Street Fighter the animated movie.
That was so cool.
I had become like pals with Les Claypool, who ran
Whoa.
not the.
Okay, I was like, whoa.
not that one. No,
no, he's not
studio Les Claypool.
What's going on?
Yeah, the not the Primus guy, but the guy who ran Magnitude 8 Post, and him like all of us like anime like nerds is a pack rat, and he had the original dupe tapes of all of the dialogue from Street Fighter 2, the animated movie.
I love the extras on that with like the alternate line readings and shit.
Oh, I spent like hours doing that because I had him send me all of the different takes. I was like, "Can you send these?" Because he was like, "Yeah, there's all these takes in here that like that aren't in your script that you sent me." And I'm like, "What?" And I'm like, "There's this one where like Ryu like say like throwing F-bombs and stuff."
It's fucking wild because like I know every intonation of that movie. So to hear any different line reading is like I just fall over at it.
Yeah, it's crazy. But so I was like, "Do you happen to have the M&Es?" And he's like, "Yeah, I have them." And the weird thing about that movie is they recorded it there, but they had those the Baywatch guys who did the score. Like some other studio did the mixing for the American version, but he had all the stuff, so I paid him to, and unfortunately not like super well, but like I paid him to do that new mix with the Japanese audio because everybody wanted that. Like, and there was like all this apocrypha that existed and stuff. And he was super cool, and that ended up being his last professional mix because like after that happened, he got into a bad car accident. And now he's got like tinnitus, which is like horrific. Ooh. Yeah, but I mean I've stayed in touch with him because he's such a cool guy, and like I'm just lucky to be able to get to do stuff like that. Like This isn't a discotheque thing, but we did I I realized because we did what is it, Galaxy Express Eternal Fantasy. We dubbed that, and Lisa Ortiz plays Maytel, and then I realized my friend Liz like just translated the Slayers novels. So I got them to like it's coming out in like I guess like 10 days now, but there's an audiobook where Lisa Ortiz does Lena for the Slayers audiobooks.
You are talking to Mary's childhood here.
Yeah, my sister and I probably just woke up a little bit. Like, hello, Slayers.
But that's coming out in like 8 days, and that was just me like emailing people like, hey, I have this connection, and I think we could do this, and then they got the rights to it, and so I produced this audiobook where Lisa Ortiz is Lena again. It's crazy.
So cool. I love that.
I bought that first book, so that would, but I haven't read it yet.
I bought that book.
So I'll buy the audio one and I'll listen to that.
Well, they because they did these cool like hardcover. Like I have nothing to do with it. I just like loved it. But it's like these cool hardcover 3-in-1 novels that they published, and they're so nice. They're cool, yeah. And it's like all new translation and stuff. So it was very cool to get to do because I love Slayers. As a kid, I would save up I would get $15 a week allowance, and I would save up months to go buy those VHS tapes.
Oh my gosh, that was me and Ranma. But I was telling some friends yesterday who were staying over that our local video store had like a fairly decent anime selection. One of the first things they had was dubbed Slayers, and I loved it because at the time I think I'd only seen Dragon Ball, Sailor Moon, and Ranma, so like Slayers might have been my fourth show. I just loved that it had a strong female protagonist, and just her voice acting is iconic in both languages.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned.
Slayers is one of my favorite shows of all time, and I like it was a dream. Like Amber Lee Connors, who runs Sound Cadence, is such a huge Slayers fan too. So like. We were like kind of like giddy over the fact that we get to like do something like that.
I mean, I guess the dream release for that now is like a movie collection. Because hasn't the entire like TV show come out on Blu-ray now? Am I incorrect?
No. It has come out on Blu-ray in Japan, but it's like horrific upscale. It's like a Q-Tech smear.
Oh no, we're very familiar with Q-Tech.
Well, I believe, didn't they, like 5, 6, 7 years ago, they announced they're going to be doing a Blu-ray set in Japan, and then like a month before they like canceled it. They were like, nope, never mind. And then this upscale came out, or was that in the movies? And then they came back to the TV series.
I believe you're correct. And the weird thing about Slayers is like, I think it's still tied up with Funimation. Like I think they still have the
they just from they did a license rescue once though
but they did like the newer series too.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Like season 4 and 5.
Yeah. And what I know about that show is they want to sell it all as like they don't want like
bits and pieces.
They don't want you to like license just Slayers. They're like you need to license Slayers Next, Slayers Try, and Revolutions
and Evolution R.
Evolution R, yeah. My favorite part of Evolution R, and those are both good, like really great series. There's like a bit where they ask Lena, like all our pals are like, so how are we gonna defeat them? She's like, well, I'm gonna use items 1 through 4. And they're like, what are items 1 through 4? And she's like, you guys. Like something along those lines. There's so much good bits in that. I was actually surprised like how true to that series those 2 sequels were.
We bought the first new one when Funimation put it out, and then I think like after that you had to buy them both together or something, and I couldn't get the other one. I don't remember. So we've only ever seen that, and I have no recollection of watching it.
My only exposure to Slayers is a buddy of mine was like, how have you seen so much female-led fantasy and never watched Slayers? And just left the DVD set in front of my TV when she visited. It's like, sit down, shut up, and watch Slayers. And I did, and I loved it.
Oh, it's so good. Like, it's such a fun, crazy show. And like, I wish the TV series was HD, like remastered. But it's like, getting them to the guys who own it don't really do like expensive remasters, unfortunately.
We're familiar
what's
with
the
that.
company?
Yeah.
I don't remember who put out
I mean,
we
this-
all have very strong feelings about this.
I mean, whenever at this point, like whenever they announce like, oh, this show is getting a new remaster, Randy will just be like, God, I hope Discotech gets it.
I mean, that is how it goes. Yeah.
I will say that like I would go nuts if we were able to ever get the movie because the movies are all like those have proper really good HD remasters.
You just
So,
want to
like,
look at Naga.
Yeah.
Naga's great. What's wrong with Naga?
I mean, it's not that. It's like that first movie has got like amazing animation in it. Like it's.
I wish
That
I
was my
remembered it at
first
all, but
introduction
I saw it,
to the series.
I saw it fan-subbed in high school in like
Yeah, I don't
the
remember.
late 90s. I don't remember.
Oh man, it's got that rockin' theme song Midnight Blue and like she fights what is his name Joy Rock.
Joy Rock. That's
Joy Rock.
right.
I don't remember.
Like in the
this
dub,
at
he's
all.
like Joy Rock, Michigan J, because he's like a frog thing, and he turns into this big like crazy D&D monster. I watched that movie so much as a kid. Like
That was my first one. A friend of mine had like the ADV sub VHS, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll give this a shot.
That's right.
There are 3 people around me with stars.
Yeah, I thought I horned a red shell, and I didn't, and then Brett went by me, and here we go. The rest of this track.
Yep.
Oh no, blue shell,
Just
love that.
ghosted my horn.
Oh,
I had a
love it. Fuck off. Bye.
But to answer your question, Slayers is good, and if you want to learn packaging design, I would look into Adobe InDesign.
Okay. I've dabbled here and there. I mostly work in Illustrator.
I mean, Illustrator is part of it too. Like it's
Right.
it's essentially like you build like your pieces in Photoshop and Illustrator, and then you import those into InDesign. And it's just InDesign is a lot easier to build packaging and like books and things in. So if you that's sort of like the path of it, and then like once you build it, then you export it out as like a print PDF. I mean, honestly, if you want me to like send you a package that I did, tag me on Twitter and I'll just send you a project and you can look at it.
That would be so cool. Yeah.
If
And,
you want, just I'll pick one and send it to you because it's like the way I learned InDesign is so I work like I told you I worked at like ADV for a while and I did websites and then I got laid off from there and I was like, what am I going to do? I'm going to be a writer. And so I found this like video game magazine called Hardcore Gamer Magazine, and I was reading and like, oh, we absolutely do not need more writers. We need designers. I was like, oh wait, I was a designer, huh? So so I emailed him, the guy who owned it, a cool guy named Tim Lindquist. He's known now. Like if you have a PlayStation 4 and like they have all those like Jack and Daxter and all that, the HD re-releases.
Yeah.
And he's in charge of those now. That's what he does. But back then, he ran Double Jump Publishing, and like I emailed him. I said, "Hey, I'm a designer. You said you need designers. Here's my portfolio." And he goes, "Do you know how to use InDesign?" And I downloaded the demo and lied to him and said yes. And that is how I became a.
You could do that back then.
Well. He sent me a project, and that's how I learned, by pulling his project apart. And I remember I didn't have a concept of like how big the text was in the magazine.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like and so I was building it on a computer monitor, and I made the text like really big.
Yeah.
So my first layouts are like that. And so I worked there for a long time, and it was like paid learning. And I became like the production manager, like producer of that magazine. It was such a weird, like I've had such a weird like path through professional work, but
I love it. And I wanted to say this earlier, like you've been like a regular, I don't know, I hate to use the word
anime professional.
No, but I specifically want to say like fan of Kanzenji, like back in like the Vegito EX homepage days.
Yeah,
like,
I've been around quite a while.
The fact that everyone's been able to like go off and do the things that they want to do, and that the coolest fucking shit has been able to come out of it. I just love it so much.
Well, I mean, some of it too is like I like when I get these projects, I know this person is like a huge fan of this. They'll do a good job. Like we're doing Sonic X, and like and like I pulled like all these like fans. Like okay, so you guys work on the subtitles. Like,
right.
Like I've pulled in so many people into this. And it's like cool that I've been able to indenture like trust in my like choices and projects and like what I do, that they let me do all this crazy stuff. Like I'm incredibly lucky. Like I was trying to explain to David, who is he's the Blu-ray author now, who works at the OCD, and I was like, David, do you not understand? Because he was complaining about something, and I mean it is a stressful job, but I was like, do you understand that like we have like a reputation, and since we work on this old stuff, that like we pretty much get to do like whatever we want to do, and there's very little like complaints from Japan, because like at the end of the day they see the results, I guess, or they just don't care. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, there are certainly licensors who do care a lot, but like, at any other company, like if you worked at like a big company like Funimation or whatever, there's so much red tape and like just so much like bullshit. Like I would never want to work at a place like that personally, because like being like a small little guy, like a boutique, you know, we're gonna call us a boutique company, even though like we're doing 10 discs a month at this point, but like, you know, being that like we're able to do more, like just do more than other companies do, because we're just sort of allowed the freedom. And I think if we worked on newer shows, it would just like,
that's true. Yeah.
Like, because like the other thing is like, since some of these things are just so old, they're just like, yeah, we're just happy you're putting it out. Like, we don't care what you do. Like, I don't know. It's we've always kind of gone to 11, if you want to pull that.
Sure.
that what was that? God, what is? I'm trying to think of what they were called. Working design. Oh,
working designs. Yeah.
I mean, it's Spinal Tap too. It's the 11. Yeah, that's where that's from. You're right. You're correct. That's where the original reference is from.
Right. But yeah, working designs. Oh boy.
And I would say like, yeah, the rest of us were all jealous and wish we had that, but I know you're like right there with us in terms of Dragon Ball. So.
Oh God. Like, I mean, like I said, I still get DMs about that Dragon Box thread. Like, and that was me like
fucking people.
Myself. There's a thread about like color correcting the Dragon Box that's like 10 years old.
That's a perpetual topic of discussion, I assume, in fandom.
Yeah. There's. I was looking. I was like, this is still updated. This is like 10 years old. Like literally, it's 10 years old. I was like I posted in the thread like I'm super like hyped that people are still reading this. Like this is all out of date. I wouldn't do this way anymore. But like, I mean, the point of the thread was to give people a way to do it with free tools, right? Like, to mess with the footage. Like
I did like episode 120 after like reading that. I'm like, I gotta see what this first Trunks like kick-ass episode looks like if I color correct this shit.
God, like I don't even know why I wanted to do that. Like I remember though, I was like, this is so long. It's like 5 posts or something. And I remember you guys were like, this does not need to be 4 posts. We're going to put it all into 1 post.
Is that what I did? It sounds like me.
He was probably a dick about it at the same time.
No, he wasn't. He was just like, this needs to be organized better. And no, it was like, you were talking in like the IRC channel or something about it. Like I happened to be there.
Yeah.
When I posted it. And you're like, oh, we need it. Like, and you were like, Brady posted this thing. We need to combine this so it's not confusing.
Oh, okay. Well, that's legitimate. Rather than
I knew he wouldn't be an ass about it. I just had to make a joke.
I do remember somebody said like I was like, oh, my favorite movie character is something, and I had the name wrong. So that's like my signature forever.
Oh, really?
It's like my favorite movie henchman is Sancho or something like that from Curse of the Flood movies.
Oh, yeah. It's DVC movie one. What are you doing, Brady? Come on.
Like, that's my favorite. And I think I said it as a joke, too. Like, God, so many good times. Like, I have not been back around to the forum in a while.
Well, you know what? Forums are coming back because Twitter's exploding. So.
True.
Come on back.
It's there was a great article on Lifehacker that was like, in case you want to know, here are Twitter alternatives.
The funnest part about working at Discotech is that Mark FBR, who posts there or used to, like, he and I would get into like arguments on the forum all the time. And he was like trying to, like, I was trying to explain to him, like, this is how printing works. and he was like, oh, but I'm right. And we would get like, and so like, and now we're like best, like really good pals. And like, I work with him every day. He's our QC guy. QC manager.
Interactions I have with him are, I think the first person on the forum to get a US Dragon Box Volume 1, because I live like 2 hours away from where Right Stuff ships out, I guess. But
did you get it early?
Yeah, I got it early, and then he was walking me through how to take the most pristine PNG screen cap to share with people for quality, to share that. I'm like, yeah, you fill me in.
So what'd you do? Were you going like DG Index into AVI synth?
Wow. I think he just,
or like Media Player Classic or something.
It was just Media Player Classic, but using the CCC pack codecs and everything. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do that. It's fine.
He still does that stuff.
Yeah,
he still does. He's amazing though. Like, he's like, I have a good eye. Like, after working on a frame perfect fighting game for like 8 years, I have a really good eye for like frame imperfections, and he'll come up with like really bizarre things that I'm like, I need you to take a screenshot of this because I can't find it. Like, he's like a level beyond me, and like, I just but yeah, like, it just, like, I remember just like fighting with him on the forums, just like getting in arguments with him and just being like, I need to not argue with him too much because they're gonna ban me. I don't think I ever got anywhere near like
no
like ever. Like, I feel like I was a pretty good person on the forums.
Everyone's so worried about bans, but it's like, are you a Nazi or a racist? Otherwise, you're fine.
I'm pretty sure you could be both.
I don't say one necessitates the other.
Sorry, and more.
Are they?
It's one of those like.
Yeah.
Just no hard R's. It's not complicated.
Well, apparently Randy corrected me on that one.
I did?
Yeah.
Well, is this something recent or is this something old?
Or maybe it was a different word, but
okay. I don't remember.
This needs to be discussed.
Yeah. We'll take this off stream.
Go on.
Take it to Twitter.
I'm not there as much anymore.
I say comedy's legal there now, apparently.
Oh yeah. It's funny.
Finally, I was tired of being arrested for my comedy.
So I have like no finger on the pulse of Dragon Ball stuff right now. Like, what were your guys' takes on superhero?
Excellent.
I thought it was so fun.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
You have turned around on that movie because you came back and you were like, I
did. I came back and I was
felt.
like, I don't really think. But then I watched it a second time and I was like, okay, this movie rips. So
I loved it.
I had the same reaction the second time around. Like, I liked it the first time. The second time, I'm like, I somehow love its charms even more.
So we took my buddy, who is a big Dragon Ball fan. We took his kids, who my goddaughter. So she's like 14, and she only knows like Dragon Ball peripherally. And then we took his like 5-year-old son, who only just kind of knows memes and stuff.
Sure.
And they all like loved it. Like, they thought it was fun.
Yeah.
Like,
it's just like, it's the most charming ass thing that's been produced in so long.
Well, I mean, I think part of it is because it's like Uncle Piccolo, right?
Yeah,
it's an Uncle Piccolo movie, and just like all of the dynamics between like him and Pan, and like he's like, oh, I'm living in a house now and I have a cell phone, and that's weird, and like, and I'm trying to fit in, and I don't want Gohan to be a bad father, and like all of these like such like heartwarming, wholesome things, and I was just like, oh, this is what I need. Like, I'm glad it's not like Goku and Vegeta fighting stuff again. I'm glad.
That was part of the movie.
That's what the manga's for, guys.
Ken, you rereading? You starting?
You actually gonna record this thing?
Look, discussions have started.
Wow. Okay, you guys are far along in the pre-pro process.
But yeah, I'm gonna try diving through a big chunk of it tomorrow.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna reread it again tomorrow.
Cool. So you can be on to record on Monday.
Nope.
On my show.
Stop it.
I'm glad that like my assessment of superhero is like matches up with yours. So I was like, I hope people like this, and I guess the box office was really good on it.
Yeah,
so.
it was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it coming back for IMAX showings or something?
Is it actually?
I thought I saw an Anime News Network thing about it.
That you know, the only thing that was hard to get it used to was the CG, but like because it starts off really bad looking, like in the very first like 5 minutes, and then like after
Not
that,
the animated recap stuff.
No, the recap stuff is great.
Yeah.
No, I mean more like the CG car that it like.
Okay,
yeah.
sure.
Yeah, the car like not bumping on the road or
Yeah.
anything.
Well, the car looks like it's like from PlayStation 1 or something.
Yeah.
Like I was like, what? What? And it's like, is this? It's like the beginning of what was it? Team America World Police, where it's puppets with puppets.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
And like there's like a story where they showed that to executives, and executives were like, "We got flimflammed," like because they did this like cheesy opening where it's puppeteering even cheaper looking puppets. But like yeah, like that's the only part of it. But then like it's like this, all the rest of this looks amazing. I don't know. I don't tend to watch new anime, so.
Understandable.
Yeah, we all have that problem.
So like I mean I have not even really watched a lot of Super or anything really like.
That's fine.
These
Understandable.
guys don't like fun. Just don't listen to them.
I mean, look, I secondhand watched it and it sounded frustrating.
Secondhand watch.
Yeah, look, my husband was working through it like weekly, and I'm like,
Oh, I didn't work. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, you. I was like, is there another goddamn tournament happening?
And I was like, you're damn right there is, and it's cooler than the last one.
At least the outcome of that one was unexpected.
Yes.
Yeah. At least there's that.
Yeah, Hit was there all along.
I mean I've enjoyed the movies, but like I've not been like, oh, I need to watch all of this like I'm like, you know what, I need to go back through and just watch like the Kai version of the Buu Saga or something first before I even look at Super. Even though that's probably not like a good way to watch it.
These are all bad decisions, Brady.
I watched original Kai and then the final chapter stuff like back to back, and yeah, it's weird. I'm not sure if it was just a bad product on its own or if it was so bad that I was like, do I even like the Buu arc at all?
Do I even like Dragon Ball?
Is it even so? The final chapters, is it really that bad? Like.
It's not truly that bad. It is just a very troubled production with awful fucking DNR, 16:9 crop.
Sumitomo's worst work.
Not just a green tint. Literally, like, they so desperately fuck the like color value conversion up that like the greens are constantly clipping, and on top of, as Ken mentioned, it is Sumitomo's least impressive work, I'll put it that way. And they really didn't also cut that much.
Yeah, you
like
might as
Kai,
well just watch the original Z at that point.
Kai trimmed, I would say, like 80% of the fat, and Bukai trimmed like 20.
All right,
30% of the
Isn't
fat.
it like weird though? There's like two cuts. There's like a shorter one and a longer one, right?
Yes, international versus whatever domestically.
What you do is you read the Buu arc, then you watch Battle of Gods, then you watch episodes 16 through 18 of Dragon Ball Super, then you watch Resurrection F. Okay, then we're gonna switch over to the manga for a little bit. Actually, for just the rest of it, and then we're gonna watch Broly, and then we go back to the manga, and then we go to superhero. Yeah.
And then
Ken, I'm gonna go ahead and correct you there. You're just going to read Dragon Ball and stop.
Yeah, I remember like the way that I partook. Partook, is that a word?
I'm gonna keep going because we get an extra hour of sleep. So here we go.
The way I consumed the Buu Saga back in the day was like really bad scanslations. Like after, because like there was no like anime. Like it was like, oh, you got to go buy some bootleg VHS tapes. And then I had like the last like 15 episodes or something fan subbed or something. Like that's how I
have never seen past when Vegeta explodes.
I think I showed you something after that, but it is pretty good.
God,
that
Randy, fix this.
As far as I'm concerned, that's the final episode of Dragon Ball Z.
Fix it.
Fine.
And now,
I'll go get
Randy.
the
Now we
belts.
really need to finish our project just so he can look at it.
I know.
I mean, I've been debating because I want to like read a gigantic manga to finally sit down and like read the manga. But it's like, do I do the Viz version? Do I do this weird full color
You do
version?
the Tyson version.
Yeah.
The Tyson
You should do the
version.
Tyson version once we finished.
I actually,
Volume 6 the other day.
even if I was done, I would tell you to do the Viz version first. And the only reason is
Big
that
Gerard
Toriyama's black and white penmanship is absolutely remarkable.
Yeah.
And the series should be read in black and white first.
I agree.
It's not like Toyotaro where the full color is actually better.
Right. I mean, I've been doing this full color thing as like a novelty thing, but it's ironic because I really do think the black and white is the superior product in almost every way.
The way I was reading it is, what are the really awesome versions? The Kanzenbans? Is that it?
Yeah.
I was importing the French Kanzenbans so that I can read French.
Yeah, that's probably a better idea. Yep.
So that's the version I was reading, and like the printing is so good. It's like,
yeah, it's beautiful.
And it has like the limited colored pages, and it's just like, oh, this is so.
Yeah, just remarkable.
France takes manga fucking seriously.
Now, have you heard of the omnibus editions?
Is that the American ones that are like printed on toilet paper?
They are huge, unreadable Shonen Jump reproductions.
Oh, those.
Thick as you wouldn't believe.
They're fine.
Because
really good paper.
I remember like they were doing these like really cheap editions with the Kanzenban covers, which were horrible.
Oh, the Viz ones,
yeah, 3-in-1s,
yeah. So wait, is there like a good English version?
No, there is not.
No,
I got a pile of Viz Bigs on my shelf.
I'm working on it.
You have a Viz Bigs and one of them is upside down.
Half of that book is upside down.
So you're working on a version of it. How will that be released?
I mean, in print, which is really the tragedy here.
Yeah, print
Like,
only.
Friend only. Okay, I understand.
Oh.
Turn
It'll just look. Just give us another couple years. We'll be good. And it'll be great. Thanks
have
in almost whole part to Jake, but still.
I've done 10 volumes worth of moving the text over. So I've still got how long are the full colors in Japan, Mike? How many volumes did they have?
Please don't.
I mean, it's the same thing. I can tell
34. Is that what it is?
No, the Kanzenban is 34. The full colors.
The full colors, it's 1-to-1.
As is,
the
right?
Tankoban. Yeah.
Randy, you have done
Thanks, Ken.
63% of Dragon Ball, which is 13 per. No, pardon me, that's not true.
I was gonna say 10
40%.
Fucking math, man.
I don't have that in the Excel spreadsheet.
We need them.
My Excel spreadsheet calculates many things, but that is not one of them. I really should add a cell for that.
Right.
But you've done over half of Dragon Ball, your phase, so that's nice.
I want to say this is not Kanzenshu approved. This is, I don't know anything about this. I've never heard about this. I have nothing to say, no input.
What do you mean you haven't heard about it? You're the one that, what was it? You gave me like
in the stream, Mike.
He's never heard of it. Doesn't know anything about it.
Tyson, stop being a narc on yourself.
No, I will not. I will not accept this slander.
I'll read Dragon Ball. You can read Far Sector. It'll be a good swap, comics-wise.
Mike proofreads every single chapter we do.
This is not true.
We have him sign it physically
Yeah.
in blood.
I mean,
At the end, when we release it, I will credit Mike as QC.
Hey, Brady, does Discotech do manga at all before I say something?
no, we don't do manga.
Okay, you should just
That
pirate
would be
manga. It's
manga
fine.
tech.
Yeah.
Nobody? All right.
What's that?
I'll see my way out. I said that would be manga tech.
It was,
Oh,
it
manga
was
tech.
fine. It was
It was
fine.
good.
I'm trying here.
I'll allow it. I'll take it. We make worse jokes.
Yeah.
But
true. Valid.
I will say though, like it's because of like bootleggery that's the only reason Ninja Robots exists.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
Like when it comes to like really old stuff, like, and I guess one of the biggest threads beyond the Dragon Box color thing I was involved in was the Harmony Gold stuff, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And like that would not have gotten out there in any capacity if people didn't bootleg it.
Well, the thing that drove me nuts about that was like everything is so insular. Like no one thought to ask an anime fan outside of their little internet clique of Dragon Ball fans from the last 10 years. Like if you just ask some old person, they will have the 5 episodes. No one thought to do that.
Yeah, nobody did. Like, I mean, I had the tape here. I had to recapture it. So, like, I captured it once, and then now that my VCR is better, I need to do it again.
I was trying to send you the movie 1 from '94, but FedEx thought otherwise.
Oh, yeah. That I feel so bad for Joe on that. And I know that, like, a copy of that just sold again.
Yeah.
For like $50 or something.
What? Wait, what?
it was like some like really low number.
I missed that one. I saw the multi-$1,000 one.
I was like, really? Like, I don't know.
Fuck.
I don't know. I would have went in on that to get a copy of that because the copy that we have now is like really blown out, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you just go in on it, you buy it, you scan it, whatever you need to do, and then sell it again, even if it's just like at cost.
Yeah.
You should just do that.
Well, I don't even mind losing a little money just to get it preserved. Like, I mean, that's why like we're gonna discotheque because we preserve all this weird ass shit. Like, that's the fun of it. It's like finding this weird stuff and making it available.
I think that side of it is important, but then from my side of it, it's like, well, now we know what it is, and we've documented literally everything there is to know about it that we can know. Like, if it's out there, like, so be it. Like, we know what the line differences are. We know when it came out. Like, I'm good from my side of things.
See, for me, there needs to be
I think it should be out. Like, there's no excuse for Funimation not to have, like, a 5-language track release of that movie.
Well, it's weird because there's like some like behind the scenes video where they show like some shelves at Funimation.
Yeah, that's where Joe first saw it.
Yeah, and it's like sitting on that shelf.
Yeah.
Like one VHS tape with all this like DVDs and Blu-ray shit.
It's like don't some of the Lupin movies have like 5 or 6 audio tracks on them? I'm just like, here are all of the dubs.
So Lupin the Third: The Mystery of Mamo has 4 dubs.
Wow.
And there's one that was like created in Japan in like 1970. Then there's one that's was created in the UK after the American one, so it was like 1995, 1996. And then there's
with British accents.
And then there's like no.
It's even funnier since he's.
They get like
French.
American expatriates. It's kind of weird. Like Bill DeFries was.
Oh, that's weird.
And people who can do like American, yeah, and then so, of course some like British stuff like speaks through too.
People who
like,
think they can do American.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like like a lot of those manga dubs were done in the UK. Like, I mean, that's a manga one as well, the Mamo. But like, I mean, Dominion Tank Police was all UK people. Like.
Oh wow.
A lot because like a lot of those early ones, Project Echo is a UK dub. A lot of them are. So yeah.
I'm gonna watch that tomorrow. I'm gonna keep this
I
out.
would obviously suggest to watch it subtitled. Even
No,
though
I'm watching.
like,
Yeah.
I mean, I have the love for that old dub, but it's like it's not in the best shape. I would say.
It was very funny when Andrew was showing me Utena for the first time. He's like, I watched it dubbed when I was growing up. If you want, we can watch that one. I'm like, yeah, all right, I'll give it a try. And after the first episode, I wasn't feeling too great, but he turned to me and he's like, okay, that was nostalgia. We can put on the Japanese.
You made the right choice.
Yeah.
You mean Ursula's Kiss?
Oh.
Right.
That's a deep dive.
Yeah.
That's the same people who own Slayers.
Oh wow.
Wow.
I wish I had an archive of that page because they had some amazing there's one that was called, I don't even know what the real title, but it was called The Extreme Team, and like just trying to figure out like what shows they were talking about.
It's probably on so there's an Utena fan site that I always call the Kanzenchu equivalent for Utena fandom. They would have that shit documented. I know on Twitter they're Empty Movement, but I'm blanking out on the name of the website.
That is what the website is, I believe.
Oh, it is also too?
Yeah, I think so.
Ursula's Kiss. Oh, God, I'll never forget that.
Let me check here, because that's also.
I mean, look, I've got.
Movement, so.
I've got like half a wall
Oh,
of Pokemon DVDs,
Otori.nu.
so I understand nostalgic dubs.
They always had such good web design on that site too. Otori.nu.
Again, that's like one of those things where it's like it deserves to be archived. Like
Yeah, for sure.
Like if I did One Piece, I would want to archive that crazy 4Kids dub. Like I would want to put that out in some manner.
What was the deal with like Funimation when they thought they had it before 4Kids?
They did. They did 2 dubs. There's two dubs that are out there. Of that. I've seen them.
Because there was some video of them like dubbing the actual We Are opening.
Yeah, well, no, but yeah, there's like a recording of it off the screen, but I mean that exists. Like I know somebody who has it. Like, I've seen it. It's pretty neat.
This shit's wild.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's like finding like the Magic Knight Rare dub with that crazy Keenly side music, like the same people who did the Canadian DBZ. Like, just finding all this weird stuff. Like, I love it. Like, I love deep dive, like just getting it out there to people. Like, and I feel like lucky that I get to do it for these weird like Blu-rays that people actually pay money for. Like, there are people who care about this stuff, or at least I pretend like they do and do it anyway.
And it's so funny
in this day,
at the time,
in this day and age,
like
people are buying stuff because they care. Because in this day and age, you don't have to buy it anymore. It's so
that's true.
easy. Yeah, it's so easy to stream. It's so easy to like, even stuff that isn't available on stream, they'll just type it in and find a website. If someone's seeking out to buy a Blu-ray, it's because they're passionate in this day and age.
Because they want it on the shelf. It's not because they want to watch it.
No, it's also because there's a quality difference. If you can.
Oh, there definitely is. Oh, don't tell me about quality difference.
That's what I mean. It's like most people. Let's be honest. Most people don't care about quality.
No, they don't know. They can't see.
Yeah,
they're blind.
That's
all
so
blind.
true. That's so true.
They are all so fucking blind and deaf.
Well,
they all have motion smoothing on their TVs while they're watching regular TV.
I just threw up in my mouth.
They're also like, why is there so much grain? This should be smoother. This is
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but it's that idea of, this is the same thing of people who complain about like full screen TV shows. It's like, I paid for the whole TV, I want to use the whole TV, and it's like, all TV was like this until like 2008.
How did you not know?
My TV's still like that.
I will say that particular complaint is not as huge anymore, just because the fact that like people partake video in different aspect ratios now because of
That's
like, TikTok
true.
or whatever.
That's
right?
true.
Like, so like watching like a 4x3 or a 16x9 or something that's like Tate or whatever. Is not as weird anymore, so I don't see people complaining about that as much now.
So that was like a 10-year period where that was a common complaint.
I mean, hell, laptops are like by default at like 10 by 32 or some almost square ratio.
But I mean, like most tablets are 4x3, right? Like,
right.
Yeah. So like,
that's true.
I feel like the impetus to like try to fit the screen doesn't matter as much anymore, and people don't care as much because they're used to it. But at the same time, whoever like decided on Blu-ray was like, "There's no 4x3. You just have to add black bars."
Oh yeah, I remember that from when it was released. Just the spec on it being so confused. Like, but we had anamorphic before. What did you do?
Or you could do 4x3 on a Blu-ray, but it has to be standard definition.
Yes. No, but I mean, like, if you want HD 4x3, it's got to be like pillar boxed. It's all because it's all 16:9, right? So like, but when that translates over to, like, if you want to stream it or whatever, like, the person either has to be smart enough to cut that off, or like, oh, it's going to be in like the middle of my tablet or phone or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Which, like, I mean, when I work on 4x3 shows, I try to make sure that even if it's it's 16:9 with pillar boxing and then you have the video in the middle, I try to make sure the subtitles are still within that like overscan area of a real 4x3, just in case you have somebody who crops their video off or is watching it and zooming it in on their tablet or whatever, so it doesn't get fucked up. Because like, I mean, like, personally for me, I buy a Blu-ray and then I rip it to like my Plex server, right?
That's what we do.
Yeah,
like,
100%.
I don't mess with discs, even though like I have like shelves of them. Like, I get it on a server and there it is, and I've proofed video and stuff that way. Like, I'll just rip it to my media server and proof it on my 4K or whatever, right? Like, so much easier.
Good plan.
But like, I mean, once the disc's out, I'm glad it's out there. That means like, whatever 1,000 people or whatever have a copy of it, and then
It's out there forever at that point.
yeah, it's going to be leaked or whatever. Like I mean, I hope people don't pirate, but at the same time, like I know it's going to be somewhere now that I've done all the work, right? Like I want to like take the I have all these VHS copies of Ninja Robots, like the original ones. I just want to put them like on archive.org or something, just so like people can look through the mess that I went through.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's such I don't know. But I love it. Like I just love restoring stuff like that. It's and actually being able to like get it done, like and say like, oh, I did this. Like what was it? Ronin Warriors. We found like the master tapes at like Cartoon Network. Like that's where we found them.
Oh wow!
And like we had to like restore them from like deteriorated like 1-inch tapes and stuff. It's like I don't know, like spelunking into media. It's cool. Anyway, I don't mean to bore you guys with this stuff.
This is
Not boring.
Oh, please.
No.
Yeah,
I stayed on to hear it.
Yeah.
I can only get so hard.
Yeah, look, my Mario Kart has been deactivated. I'm only here to hear the discotheque hot goss.
Yeah, you're fully recruited at this point.
Yeah, you're in a room full of video nerds.
Let me tell you about my Super VHS deck.
Yes.
Please
excuse
do.
me. Who do you think you're talking to here?
I tell you what, like it's an AG 1980, and it's like a really good deck. And I bought it 10 years ago for $300. I was like, this is the most expensive thing. Like, why would I spend this much on a VHS deck? And like, it like after a while the capacitors and everything go. And so I went back to the same guy, and there's one guy in the world that repairs them.
Oh my god!
And I went back to him, and I was like, okay, what does one of these cost now? And it's like $4,000.
Yeah.
And like to get it repaired, it was $900. Like to get like the one that I had.
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah. So I mean, well, it's a business write-off, right? But like,
yeah, sure.
I was like, I thought $300 was ridiculous for this, and now I'm paying this and willingly paying $1,000 or whatever to get this fixed.
Yeah,
So
I'm in the same boat. I have an JVC HRS 9911U, and the day that dies, it will be the saddest day of my life because it's like $1,000 to replace it if you can find one.
I was gonna say, just like by way of extended introduction, Brady, Vic has been doing AMVs like as long/longer than Mary and I, and he runs the Otakon AMV contest, and he's like,
I am very old and I love the video.
Oh, cool, awesome. I mean, I certainly sent my own AMVs back in the day to the. I remember like they weren't good enough to get into the main hall, so they were in the overflow room.
If you sent them to Otakon, I have copies because that's actually what we did. 4th of July weekend, we had the old contest coordinator come over, and I digitized all the old tapes.
Oh, wow.
Because he's like, yeah, I have all the masters still. I'm like, we need to get those off of tape before your house burns down or floods.
That's awesome.
A lot of those videos, there's no copies anymore.
yeah,
Like no one has them.
When I went downstairs, you were doing like 98, I think it was.
Oh, yeah.
Oh wow, that's cool. Like I think I did like it was like Gundam Wing Endless Waltz to like Danger Zone or some stupid bullshit like that.
Yep, Vic
I want to see that.
Yeah, that sounds like something.
It was called, I called it like Top Gundam or something like that.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I like that.
I mean that shit is what got me into editing. Like I did it all in like Premiere 5 or something like that.
Yeah, Premiere 5.1.
Premiere 5.1. I held on to that shit forever.
Oh man, like
I even like rewrapped the installer because it was a 16-bit installer. So I remember it was like a whole thing when 64-bit OSs couldn't read it. So I like wrote my own installer so I could get 5.1 to install on a 64-bit machine.
Wow.
So you guys remember like editing videos, like you wouldn't know what it was until you rendered it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And then you would render
40 minutes later.
Yeah, and then I would be like rendering out these little tiny like 160 by whatever tiny postage stamp little ass videos and like getting in real close being like, I think it's timed right. That looks good.
I don't miss those days. Now I can just load up the M2 TV, whatever it is.
Oh jeez, yeah, like
or whatever fucking video codec Vic had us install.
UT, man, UT's awesome.
UT video, hell yeah, we use that. I use that professionally. It's good.
Are you hiring?
I mean,
Right? Yeah. All right,
I was gonna say Vic is like your guy. Yeah. Personal reference done.
Yeah.
Depends what we're doing. Like, we do some. I mean, sometimes we do trailers. Sometimes I'm not. It really depends. I don't know. Like, the reason I work at Discotech is because like I emailed the guy and said I could do it, and he was like, okay. and then.
Yes, I have no professional credits. I've just worked at Otakon for 20 years, and I hate my job.
well, here's the big thing. Anime does not pay enough to replace your job. Just so you understand. Like, I like anime is like my side hustle, right? Like, I make money doing it, but like my main job is what pays for my mortgage and stuff. Like, anime doesn't pay anything, and it's usually like a love thing, and there's usually like it's not steady. I mean, I think I could probably do it steadily, but like it's because I've done it for 10 years, right? I've produced all this stuff. So, but like if you were just an editor or whatever, it's not like it can never like be your only gig. It's like with voice actors, right? Like a lot of the time, voice acting isn't their only gig, right? Like
that's why Critical Role exists. So
yeah,
they can all make money.
Yeah, now they can make money and they don't do voice acting anymore.
Basically, gotta get that merch.
Well, I was surprised. Like they replaced Knuckles in Sonic, who was God, what is his name?
Dan Green.
No. It was Dan Green. It was Dan Green, but then it became the guy who was Roy Mustang. And
yeah.
Ken's like, why are you laughing at me?
Just before you lost who it was, I was like, I can see that name, and now I just.
What is his name?
It's got an M in it. Like either the first name or the last name starts with M.
I don't know. I'm not a sexual
Dan
deviant.
Green.
I don't know this shit.
he was Dan Green now. In the 4K.
Travis Willingham.
There you go. Yes.
The replacement cell. I got it. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
Not Damian Clark.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what? Like how? But didn't Damian Clark come back though?
Yeah, he did.
I think he did.
I think it was like
D'Artagnan Nickelback.
when he wasn't available and like for games and shit.
Oh right, yeah. Which is kind of funny now because like Travis Willingham, like you couldn't get him. Like
yeah.
Now, like I can't even imagine. But I mean, I mean it just depends on what you would want to do, honestly. I can't think of anything like off the top of my head that we need editing for currently, but.
Well, if and when you do, I know a guy. All right.
Yeah, if you need video captured, it's upscaled. I know a guy.
I know the guy.
All right.
I have a Laserdisc player too.
That's true. He does.
My Laserdisc player just broke. It sucks.
I gotta pee, and we're done.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
Brady.
That's how we end the evening.
Thank you.
Brady,
Mike has to pee. Everybody, get out. You can't do it if we're watching.
I can. Oh God!
It's
separators between the stalls. I can't do it.
It's a different kind of stream, all right.
Yep.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Same time next week.
Yep.
Goodbye.